Welcome back, everyone. This is Akinar here with more blueprints, where we are ready to begin day 13. Oh boy, lucky number 13? Let's find out. We've had several drafts in a row now that have been, well, unexpected, because after day 9, I kept expecting us to have a downturn in our luck. So far, that has not been the case. Day 12 was no exception to that. We got to pick some wild berries. Finally, actually using the buff that we received from the shrine. And those wild berries were a lot of fun. We got a free attic. We got a boiler room that was, I really want to explore the boiler room again and start trying to, now that we know that it gives you a very strong indication of where the power leads as you're drafting. And we also drafted the study, which the study revealed some really mind-boggling information about artwork in the house and word pairings, word pairs. So we're going to be discussing all that in just a bit here, because I have been doing just a little bit of studying of my previous notes on said artwork, and I think I might have figured something out. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's start drafting, though. The outer room. What do you got in store for me? Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. You could actually pick a wild berry here as well. I hadn't even thought of that. That's really interesting. This, I wonder, well, I mean, this could be the way because if we have one room left in the outer room that we haven't drafted yet. At least from what the room directory shows. And I have to assume that whatever room that is, I think it's the tomb, but I don't know for sure. But it makes sense that we haven't seen it yet. It's going to be rare compared to the rest of these being unusual. And picking a wild berry takes away that rarity restriction. So all of a sudden we would have a 1 in 8 shot to get that other room. And, no matter what room you get, it's just, your draft is going to be steered in a direction no matter what. So it could be wild berry time. We have a root cellar, hovel, and tool shed. I don't think it's the root cellar. I think if anything, I would want to take the hovel, because I have been hoping to get a hovel redemption run, because I sort of screwed things up the first time that we had the hovel. I made a slight overlooking of a certain door. But yeah, this could also be our chance to get that. While our wild berry buff is active, I think I want to at least once take the wild berry, but maybe it's correct just to take it every single time. Because there hasn't felt, I guess maybe the root cellar is one that I would rate, only having experienced it once, I would rate it as, okay. The rest of these feel like they have more upside. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say exactly how to rank each of these outer rooms. I really have liked the shelter. The shrine has also kind of been hit or miss. We've liked it the second time around. I think dig sites in general is what I'm thinking of when I think of the root cellar. And it just seems like dig spots are more likely to contain nothing than they are to contain something. And that's why I'm like, do I care about getting more dig spots? Not as much. Now, the tool shed, it gives us 2 special items, including it could give us this wrench, which we had one time, and I didn't get to make any use out of, and we haven't seen it since. Or we saw it, but it was at the end of the day with the trading post. So I would like to get that wrench and make the boiler room a lot easier to find. That would be the ideal scenario. But there's also something to be said about just, taking the wild berry and leaving it up to chance. Just put it in the hands of the RNG gods, and whatever you end up with, you go with, if you get one of the 7 rooms that you've seen before, that's fine. They all have their own merits, and we now have a little bit of experience with each of them, and we can steer our draft accordingly. Or if we get really lucky, we get that 8th room that we've not been able to access, and we're going to have 3 shots at this. Max. So why don't we maximize those chances? Let's take a wild berry. I want to get this hovel redemption run, but we can always do that after the wild berry wears off. Let's see what the berry picking has in store for us. I don't think that's a new place, but I'm not sure. I mean, oh my god, it's a coat check. Oh shit. Oh, this doesn't work the way that I think it does. What the fuck? Okay. Never mind. It's not a 1 in 8. Because you can actually just draft. Well, we didn't draft. We picked a wild berry. You can actually just get what? Any dead end? Any possible dead end could appear out here? Is that what you're telling me? I see. Well, that is an interesting way. I mean, gosh, a coat check, which we know what the coat check has. So I am going to take a step inside. And I'm going to pick up my lucky rabbit's foot because I would love to start the day. This is what I've been wanting to try to do. Wait a minute. Okay, it's here. For a second, I wasn't sure because it looked like it was blank. And I thought, is the coat check like different because it's in the outer room? It has you can't actually retrieve your rabbit's foot. Okay, good. We've got the rabbit's foot. All right. We just need, well, we may need to make sure that we get back out here, but maybe not. Maybe the rabbit's foot, we decide that we are willing to part ways with it, and we don't have to like bend over backwards to make sure that we make it back outside. We'll see how the draft goes. I'm noticing there's no artwork. There's no artwork on these walls. So yeah, let's head back inside and talk more, I guess, about artwork. But that we learned an important lesson about berry picking. So now our draft is actually not being steered by an outer room at all. Other than maybe we want to get back to the coat check. So, okay. All right, we'll think about the implications of that for the following days when we still have our berry blessing. But the floor plans. We need to talk about artwork because one of the things that we noticed, we'll think about picking up our allowance here in just a second. But the Queen of Diamonds and the Ace of Spades. We have noticed one of the things that I had, been thinking about with the artwork was, okay, the artwork is the same in the entrance hall, but then every other room that we draft, the paintings are randomized. And so I had been taking some screenshots, and then I had been, looking through those screenshots a bit, and I thought, I can't really, there's no real discernible pattern here so far as I can tell. It's all just random. And that's where I began to think that it was a bit of a red herring. Now, I had forgot that we actually got a message about the artwork from Alzara. When we got to the study on the previous day, I had completely forgotten that the day before that, we did get another cinematic from Alzara. Because what stuck in my mind from that was the fact that he was talking about the 8 red letters and how there was one missing. But I had forgot the line that he told, or that he said, that just like with the artwork in this house, there is one letter missing. And that's where we get to these word pairings. The word pairings where we saw on the chalkboard, face and ace, one letter missing. The F is the single letter that has been taken away from one of the words to make the second. And that F was written on the chalkboard in the place of the entrance hall. And then it said something like 44 letters. Let me just check my notes real quick just to be sure what it said. I had it here on my floor plans. Right, it says 44 letters in the message. And then it also says some stuff about some unused pairings. And so 44 letters in the message. I didn't know what to make of that at the time. And then something clicked later. When I thought about it and I looked at my notes, I realized, well, wait a second. The artwork is always the same in the entrance hall. But what if that's not it? What if it has nothing to do with the entrance hall in so much as it has to do with the grid space that's occupied by the entrance hall? What if the paintings are not random, but it's the floor plans that are random? And so for every grid space in the house, what if the artwork is fixed? And so I had that idea, and I compared my notes for the room that I drafted to the right of the entrance hall. Just for the record, the numbering system that I'm using here, because we do have ranks 1 through 9, I figured we might as well just number the columns as well, west wing to east, 1 through 5. So the entrance hall would be 1, 3, and the room to the right would be 1-4. So I looked at my screenshots that I had taken for the first like 5 days, and I looked what were the paintings in the room for 1-4 on 2 different days. And I found there was a pine tree and there was a safety pin. Pine and pin. E being the single letter removed from pine. I think when we draft this door to the right, we're going to have a pin and a pine inside, no matter what room it is. Let's see if my theory is correct. Let's draft to the right. Okay, we have nook versus bedroom versus den. And I think I am going to take the den here, even though I have stressed about this idea of giving myself too many doors too close together before. However, we have a wild berry, and so we have the ability to pick wild berries. And so having more doors to draft means more wild berries, potentially, because with wild berry, because it takes away this rarity restriction, there are, I think, by far the most likely type of room, maybe not by far, but the most likely type of room that we have in our floor plans are dead ends. One of them is gone with the coat check, but elbows as well. But dead ends and elbows are definitely there's the greatest amount of those types of rooms in the pool. And so when you get the chance to take a den in a spot where you are opening 2 doors in 2 different directions, I think you want to take that, because taking the wild berry is so often going to get you a dead end. And like in this case, we could draft the den, and then we could draft to the east wing bottom corner. And if we don't really like our options there, if there's nothing super thrilling, we can take a wild berry. And guess what? We've still got 2 doors that go into rank 2 and a door that goes to the potentially to the west wing along rank 1. So let's do that. And I think we will go ahead and draft through the den because first of all, I want to test my theory. I want to see if I'm right. Pin and pine. I think we're onto something, folks. Now, the question is it... We might still, I'm going to start making a note, and I've already done that here with this room, but I have a part of my notes now that's going to start filling up a table that notes the word pairings, if we can figure them out, because I did not, once I figured this part out, I did not study the rest of my notes. I figured let's save the rest for on camera and see if we can figure out, aha, there is a trunk here. Okay, so there's a trunk to be opened, and that probably has something to do with our lucky rabbit's foot. So that's good. So we're open to getting a sledgehammer, as well as keys, of course. So, all right. So we're going to be looking out for artwork now. We're going to try to make note of artwork. I'm still also going to be trying to make sure I double check chess pieces. I think I've made note on some of these more common rooms. Now, because we did in the study, there was a chessboard in the middle that had a black queen, and I think there was a black queen in the study, but I might need to double check that. But regardless, the chess pieces could factor into this, but they could still be a red herring, because how do the chess pieces factor in? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me, because if the paintings are fixed, the chess pieces are not. I'm sorry, the chess pieces are fixed, but they're fixed to the rooms, the floor plans, whereas the paintings are fixed to the grid space. That is something that's not changing. The rooms, though, are in a different order every single day. Every draft is different. So what is it? What information could we get out of the fact that these rooms, like the den, that could be anywhere, have a specific chess piece? That's not clear to me, but I'm still making note of the fact that there's a white pawn here, just in case. But I have a feeling that's a red herring. All right, let's draft. We're looking for, well, we don't know what we're looking for. Let's just draft. Oh, I should have grabbed my coins. That was my mistake. I had the allowance in the entrance hall, and maybe I should just go back and get that. I should probably just go get that. Maybe after I draft a dead end at the den, at the other door here into the den, because we have the choice now to take closet, storeroom, parlor. Now, I was initially thinking the parlor, and I think I still do want the parlor, just to guarantee that I've got those 3 gems. But you could make an argument for the storeroom, because that would get us a key immediately that would open this trunk. I don't think I want to take the closet, even though there's a chance, there's about a 50-50 shot that it has a die. Maybe it's more than a 50-50 shot. I like getting a die, but we have wild berries. When we have wild berries, dice are less important. So I don't think it's ever the closet here. The other option would just be to do what I was going to do and take a wild berry. Because while we do get 3 gems from the parlor, if we can solve the game, assuming it's not too hard, it could be fun just to take the wild berry. Because here's the thing. The wild berry is, in this case, when it's up against a wall or a corner, it's not going to give rooms that can be deployed into a corner, right? Like, I don't think the game will ever actually allow you to draft something like the Great Hall here. And I don't even think it would allow you to do the foyer or the spare room, because those rooms would just dead end into the wall. The game would never give you, it's either going to give you a dead end or an elbow. I don't think it's going to do any other type of room. A T-shaped room wouldn't even be allowed here. So that really limits our pool. That's why we have all 3 options here that are dead end and elbow. So why not just take a wild berry, and who knows, you might end up with something that you really want. Like a vault, or an attic, or, you know, her ladyship's chamber, laundry room. The only thing we might not want to get would be a furnace, right? The furnace would be in the pool, and it would be a dead end that we could very well see. I'm not sure if we would get the rotunda. Does the game count the rotunda as an elbow or a 4-way? I feel like it counts it as a 4-way because we saw it twice on the day we had the Southern Cross, even though it's rare. But I don't think we would see the weight room here. One of the options we would be worried about would be the weight room. And we wouldn't have a chance to get it, I don't think, because it's not possible. The archives as well. We could get the sauna. We could get the pump room. Except the pump room probably not, because I think you need the pool for the pump room. But we could get the casino. A music room. A maid's chamber would not be fantastic. Could get a library. Locksmith. Servants' quarters wouldn't be amazing. Like, there's some duds in here, right? But there are a lot of really, really good options. I want to have some fun with this wild berry. And I think the time to have fun is when you're in a more controlled environment, like a corner. Or up against the wall where you know you can't get some of these really bad misses. So let's do it. Let's see what we get. I think. Like, I've got some hesitation here because the parlor is really good. Getting 3 gems and making sure that we've locked that in is good for us. With that said, I still want to have a little bit of fun as well. We're playing a game. Let's pick the wild berry. Okay, not a furnace, and that is actually an office. Okay, we have an office here. We have an office, but we don't have a lot of rooms to spread coins. So it might not be correct to spread the coins just yet. We might try to see if we can get our hands on a conference room. But that's an office that we got for free. Holy shit. We should probably check the office, if nothing else, to see. Yeah, how do I want to order this actually in terms of my steps? Because I'm just thinking if I do continue from the office, if I continue drafting up the east wing, then I'd want to grab my allowance, which I forgot to grab. I should probably just grab the allowance. Don't try to overthink, oh, I might get the chapel early, and just grab the allowance. The other option is just to draft the den here and see what you get. Because now if I get it, the den might be another spot where I'd be willing to try at not a lucky rabbit's foot, but another berry. Even though now with the den in this position here, where we happen to get lucky getting the attic on the other side in grid square 2-2, we're at 2-4. So now we don't have that safeguard of being up against a wall. So now we could get the weight room or the archives. But at the same time, we could also just get, like a free passageway, which, is not the most exciting thing, but we could get a free rotunda. We could get a free drafting studio. There's still so many things that are in the pool that would be really good. There's just a couple misses. They got to make it interesting, A foyer, a ballroom, these would all be on the table. Even a boiler room, like we did do in this same spot last time at the den, and we got a boiler room. So why don't we draft here first, and then we'll see what we get. Just keep drafting. If we're not thrilled with these options, then we can take another. I'm not thrilled with these options. Although the storeroom is fine. I shouldn't say that I'm not thrilled with the storeroom. Like maybe I should just take a storeroom and say, okay, I'm going to put a dead end here, and we'll save one of our hallways, like the corridor, for drafting up the east wing from the office. The storeroom gets us that key that we need to open the trunk. Maybe that's just the smart pick, the consistent pick, you know? We should check to see what the observatory has for us. We're at 7 stars, correct? So what would we get with 8 stars? The 8-star reward is a key. So we could draft the observatory, and that would give us that permanent progress. And then we would also be able to open the trunk in the den. But if we take the storeroom, we've got 10 coins. We've taken the storeroom at least once since we upgraded it with the upgrade disc. We would get a gem, a key, 10 coins. We have the 10 coins in the entrance hall. We're going to be sitting at a very nice gold total. Although we do have the office to spread coins. The other option, of course, is to take the wild berry. And I think as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I kind of want to do that. Because, like, yeah, the storeroom is cool, but a wild berry, it could be anything, including a storeroom. I'm going to behave myself, though. I'm going to restrain myself on this pick, and we're going to take the storeroom. We are going to take the storeroom, and then we're going to look at some paintings. We're going to actually enter this room. There's another trunk there. Holy shit, this rabbit's foot. Okay, we need keys. We need freaking keys all of a sudden. I need a locksmith is what I need. Take my coins. Yeah, the extra item here from the rabbit's foot has to be that trunk, right? And then we look at the art. Bat. This has to be clearly a bat, right? And then a bath. Bat and bath. 2-4 is bath and bat. So the single letter difference there is H. All I'm going to do for now is just fill out these word pairings and then worry about trying to make sense of, like, we might need to fill up all 44 rooms in the house just to get these word pairings. I hope they're not a red herring. I hope I'm not being led down taking a whole bunch of notes for nothing. Because it's more steps to get back here, I don't see why we would prefer the trunk in the storeroom versus the trunk in the den. The twin trunks from the observatory, those might be a different story. Those feel like those are a little bit more special than any regular trunk. But we're going to use, since we don't want to come back to the storeroom if we can help it, assuming that there's no coins spread here from the office, we go ahead and we get another key. Oh my god. A key, a gem, and 4 coins. So we get to open up the trunk here as well. God damn it. This lucky rabbit's foot, I've been waiting for this. I've been so waiting. We got a coat check in the outer room because of wild berries. What in the fuck? It probably only offers dead ends there. I mean, do I do that just to, like, the chance at getting another attic or a vault for free out there? You could also get a furnace. Like, there's downsides, right? So, yeah, we'll see. We'll make that decision tomorrow. Oh my god, that is a key card. We're definitely on the lookout now for a security room. I will happily take a security room and spend a gem on that, because now we want to make as many security doors as we can, as early as we can. So that's going to be something that we're looking out for. We're going to go back to the entrance hall here, I think. Yes. And we want to, what do we want to do? I think I want to draft the center of the entrance hall and get myself more information. So this time we will, since now we've got coins, there's no reason not to pick up the allowance at all. There probably really is no reason realistically in the first place. But let's draft the center now and see, like, if it offers an elbow, we might, or if it offers a security room, we might take it, depending on how it's oriented. So let's just see what we get here, since it's the less predictable option Let's take it. It's giving us a passageway. Are you kidding me? I think it feels like the passageway becomes unlocked once you get your hands on at least 2 gems, maybe 3 or 4. Now I have something to review in my previous drafts and see, when did the passageway actually start getting offered? When's the earliest that we've seen it? Has it been dependent on gems? Okay, I don't love drafting a passageway here, but it does get us a guaranteed door into rank 3. That's 2 gems though, and we don't get to use all the doors out of the passageway. So this could be just, you know, take your hallway and, oh man, I don't really love any of these. Like I almost want to just do Wildberry here, right? Do another Wildberry here because I would be fine with a dead end. Like I would much rather use the hallway to the left of the entrance hall. I don't want to use it here. I want the keys, but I'm not desperate for it now that we open those trunks. And I feel like none of these are an option that I want to. I'm gonna pick a Wildberry here. We could get a weight room. I know the worst options are all in the pool, but it could be an attic. It could be a vault. I feel like the high roll options from the Wildberry are enough to offset the potential of the downside. Take the shot in the dark. When you're just not satisfied with these other options, the Wildberry feels good enough to me. I'll be crying about it in a minute when I have a furnace or a weight room on my hands. Oh my God. We got the rotunda. That's so much better than a passageway. Are you kidding me? Because not only do we get all the openings that go through the rotunda, but we can rotate them however we please. Are you kidding me? That is so good. So now we don't want the entrance hall, sorry, the hallway. We would not want it to the left of the entrance hall. We actually might just put like what I would like to do now is I would like to get, actually, I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure what I want. I think the smart thing is just to draft the entrance hall to the left. I mean, gosh, this berry picker, I feel like is such a strong, even in the worst case scenario, like what's the worst that can happen? We know what's the worst that can happen. Even if we get a weight room now, that's not the end of the world because we still have 20 steps left and there are ways, kitchen and other things that you can do to remedy that fact. So we have a rotunda now, and dude, we could even draft through the north of the rotunda and we could get a passageway. Think about it, guys. We could rotate the passageway any way we want. Crazy. Okay, dumb jokes aside, let's draft to the left of the entrance hall and see what we get. Let's see what we get. This is so much fun. That's the security room. Oh shit. Wait a minute, there's a spare bedroom. This is kind of what I was wanting, but I forgot we upgraded this to a spare bedroom. That's crazy. Man, I do want a security room. I might bite the bullet here and say, okay, it's fine that you're not getting like maximal usage out of the security room's door, because I'm probably like, we're always going to draft the rooms around the rotunda from the rotunda, because why wouldn't you, right? Because then you have the option to rotate them any way you want. So you always want to draft out of the rotunda. It's just a little sad that we're not getting full value because there's a storeroom to the right, but that's fine. Getting the security room here, I did say I wanted it, and we have 4 gems already. I think we take security room here. Just guarantee that we've got it. It lets us keep drafting to the corner, and then we can do the Wildberry thing if we want. Or we could get the parlor, right? The parlor could still be offered in the corner, and that's where I might just take the parlor. Because now we know we still have the office that goes up into ranks 2 and maybe 3. It is a really interesting point that we're at here, because how we structure, we might want to think a few steps ahead. The rotunda is probably our launching point. Like how do we, like I could see a world where we're going to like draft, we could just leave security here. We could leave security where it's at and not enter just yet. We could go back to the office and we could draft the office and then we could spread gold. Because what if we get, I'm just thinking, we could leave a dead end where the office is, and we would still have a very wide open draft because the rotunda goes out into the middle of the house and it can rotate stuff any way we want it. So we still get to fill out, we almost certainly get to fill out rank 3, even if we put a dead end where the office is drafting out of. And if we're going to put a dead end there, we might as well take a wild berry and see what we get. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to take security, take the security room, and then we're not going to go in just yet. We're going to go back to the office. Who knows if this is step sufficient or not, but while we're still here early on, I think it's fine. We're going to go and we're going to check out the office. And the first thing we're going to do is check artwork. And we're going to see what? Oh, it took me a second because I was like, deer? How do I match that up with this? Except it's a stag. And this is a tag. Oh, this is stag tag. What in the heck? Okay, this artwork game. This could be fun. I don't know if it's going to be fun or not. There's just some random coins on the desk because, you know, that's it's our rabbit's foot at work. Our rabbit's foot is doing its thing. We already checked the email in here. We're still hoping to get back to the utility closet so we can try the new info that we learned. I do want to distribute the gold, though. I think even though we're early on here, I want to see how much gold it spreads through the house. So what I'm going to do is we're going to draft, though, first here because I want to see what we get offered through the office and then make my decision from there. Okay. Kitchen, corridor, pantry. Wouldn't be the worst kitchen. You wouldn't be able to come back to it, so you would probably just be taking all the gold that you've spent now. You would spread the gold from the office, and then you would go in the kitchen and hope there's a little more gold in there, and then you would buy as much as you can. And the other thing about the kitchen, we would probably not be coming back to it. That's the thing, right? We would not be making a return trip to the kitchen. So this is where we make up for all of the weirdness that we're doing with our steps here back and forth early on. So I could see the kitchen. I could also just see the corridor that lets us get out into rank 3. But this, you know, having all these different options on different wings is not necessarily the best thing. Like, you want to fill out your first 3 ranks. That's a pretty big ball game. Other than that, though, having too many, like, it may not be optimal to just say, oh, I want a path available to me on the east wing and the west wing and the center. Like, maybe just having 2 potential branches is good enough because you only have so many steps in a day. And you can't just step endlessly in all directions and draft evenly the whole way up the house. At some point, you've got to pick a direction and go with it. So I don't think it's the corridor here. I think I'm gonna hold on to that corridor. And we could just take the kitchen. But if we're gonna take, oh, wait a minute. I'm out of berries. Oh, I'm out of berries. Oh, I did not realize that the berries were a limited quantity. Was that reflected in the UI and I didn't notice it? There may have been like 1 less berry each time. So we have to be a little bit deliberate on where we use our berries. Okay, all right. Well, this is how you learn. This is how you learn. You make these mistakes. You make these missteps. Because now we don't have the fallback in these places that I maybe thought we would have. So do I just take the kitchen and completely stock up? I could probably buy it out now, question mark, with what I've got. How much does the stuff in the kitchen cost? They usually sell bananas, or the cheapest fruit is usually 2 gold, and you have a limit of 5, so that would be 10. And then there's usually an 8 gold option that gets you 15 steps, and then oftentimes there's another 8 gold option, the bacon and eggs, that gives you steps, and it adds a new room to your pool. Like, that's one of the fun things that we have not gotten to do with the kitchen yet, is adding that morning room, which looks like it's a shop, just adding that to our pool. So if we wanted to, we could just buy the entire kitchen and just have as many steps as we possibly could, and then don't think about coming back to the kitchen later. Now, of course, tomato soup could be offered in the kitchen, and that would be a little bit of a bummer, but then we would just be saving our money. We wouldn't have to buy the soup. We could just buy the club sandwich and the bananas and be on our way. I like doing that. Let's take the kitchen, and hopefully we get bacon and eggs, and we get a new shop that's in our pool for the first time. I'm just a little sad now that we're out of berries. That's the only thing. Did we actually use like the perfect amount of berries in the previous draft? I don't think I ever ended up using all the berries, did I? I'm not sure. We're going to take the kitchen here, though, even though it costs a gem. But I'm hoping that's going to be all right when we've got a lucky rabbit's foot. And we're also going to be getting more coins from the office here in a moment. So I think this is fine. And we definitely have an incentive to buy everything out because we're not going to be coming back. Hopefully we're not coming back. I did forget to spread the gold, though, from the thing. So, okay, I made the mistake of not spreading the gold from the office. I forgot that step, but we do get offered the bacon and eggs. Okay, we're definitely taking that at least. That is a bare minimum, and I think we're also taking the club sandwich at a bare minimum, and that puts us up to 62 steps. And we don't have to worry anymore about accidentally drafting a weight room because there's no more berries. So then the only option is, do we buy any of these bananas? It's probably better to hold on to my 11 gold, right? We're at 62 steps now, and there's probably going to be other ways to get steps. And so that's, I think I'm good for now. We do check the main course, country stew pie. So if we get a boiler room, we can get some extra steps later, potentially with a dining room, if we get so lucky. I do want to draft that boiler room. We're going to have less chances at it now that we don't have any. I'm sad that there's no more berries. I'm sad, man. I wanted berries. But now I do have lots of steps at least. So I got that going for me. Let's spread the gold, though. I'm curious to see exactly how much this is going to spread. But we don't have that many rooms to check. That's the thing, right? So we've done that. And do we need to log into the network? I'm just in case of remote access. I don't know if you have to do this, but I'm going to just log in just to be sure that that's... I don't know if it... Like, I could see that maybe you have to like register the terminal on the network and enable in order to remote access it later. I haven't tested that, but we'll do that just in case. I'm not going to do any of the staff services at the moment. We don't even know if the special order... Oh, there's some coins that just spreads right here. Cool. So there's 4 we got back already. Cool. Like, I don't even... I think it was a metal detector that we put on special order. And we don't have a commissary yet, so we don't even know if that metal detector is there. But already I can see, man, it's just the 1 coin here. I don't know if that was worth the step going in. Now I might go back and buy those bananas. Holy crap. Because now I think I will, actually. Is it, let me think, is it 2 steps per banana or 3? It's 3 steps a banana, so that's 15 extra steps after I've just spent a few of those going around here. But I think I want the extra steps. Because there's no guarantee. I just don't want to ever have to come back to the kitchen. That's the main thought. So let's do that. Let's guarantee that we're not coming back to the kitchen. Because there might still even be more coins in the other rooms. This is part of the nice thing about spreading the gold when there's so few rooms like this. Wish I had a salt shaker. Wish I had a coupon book, but still doing okay. 69 steps. Nice. All right. So this draft is off to a really interesting start, but that's pretty much every draft, isn't it? Isn't it? So where else could there be? Where else has there been gold distributed? This is pretty much it. Oh, yeah, this is pretty much all the rooms. I don't even know if gold could be distributed to the entrance hall. So let's check the security room. There's an apple in here? Hello? Hello? How come I couldn't get this offered to me when apples were extra delicious, huh? How come? What the fuck? All right. Ah, of course, and the artwork in the security room is the other detail here. We've made note of it so far. Oh, shit. I forgot to make note of the artwork in the kitchen. God damn it. Fuck. All right, well, I'm going to have to do that on a different day. Or I will check my notes. But I don't want to. I don't want to go back to the kitchen now. I just went to the kitchen twice. I just went there twice, and or was it 3 times even? Fuck me. I could have checked, but I forgot. So, what is the artwork here though in the security room? We have a crowbar, and then we have the rosary beads or the praying hands. Bead bar. That's not a single letters difference. Is it hand and hands? Is that all it is? I think that might, if I don't try to overcomplicate things, it's maybe just as simple as hands. Okay. This is so... All right, so S for this room. 1, 2. If I have that right. And if the artwork even means a damn thing. Because we have no clue. Okay, I kind of want a parlor now. Because I'm starting to spend gems and I need more gems. Can you give me a parlor again? I passed a parlor once. Ah, there we go. But that's a walk-in closet. Oh my god. Why are you doing this to me, game? Why are you doing this to me? Like, it's fine to take a walk-in closet here because we have a rotunda. And I'm going to almost certainly be able to angle something that still fills out the rest of rank 2 from the rotunda. So I could totally do it if I wanted here. But I could also not be greedy and just take the parlor. Let me check my notes and remind myself what I have seen before in the walk-in closet. That's right. There was a deposit box key once. There was also a salt shaker, which would just be such a troll move for the game to give me a salt shaker now. We've drafted it 3 times. Twice there's been 2 gems, and once there was 1 gem. So we drafted it 3 times. We had 2 gems, a salt shaker, and a deposit box key. It would be pretty funny to get the salt shaker now. But a deposit box key is interesting if we could get access to the vault again. Less likely now that we have berries. No more berries, I should say. The second time we got a sleep mask, a salt shaker, a gem, and a key. And then the third time we got a key card and 2 gems and a key. So we did make a gem profit, a single gem profit, but the other items, we saw the salt shaker twice, and we saw a key card, and also the special deposit box key. We don't have access to a vault, so that deposit box key doesn't do us any good just yet. And we already have a key card that we got from the trunk. And we've also just spent all of our gold eating in the kitchen. We don't need a salt shaker now. I don't think the walk-in closet is nearly as valuable in this case. We also don't have Her Ladyship's chamber. So we also don't get that synergy, but that's not something you can count on very often. I think you're just supposed to take the parlor here, honestly. You take the parlor and then maybe you draft a dead end through the parlor. Maybe. But probably not. You're not super concerned about your steps at this point. So you probably just draft through the parlor? I think so. We just take the parlor, we play the game, and we try to... We also should get an item from the parlor. If you have a lucky rabbit's foot, the parlor should be a lot more likely to contain an item. And maybe that's where that apple came from in security. Lucky rabbit's foot. Let's take the parlor. I think I convinced myself. We need gems. Gems. And we will go in. Is there actually no item? Wow. Not even an apple. Wow. Okay. What are the chances? Okay, let's see. Let's see how our game has progressed in difficulty. Where are the most words? The most words are on the black box, so we'll get to that one. All right. This box is the black box. All right, that's easy. I can tell that's false. So that's good. We have a clearly false statement. This box is the blue box. Okay, this is also clearly false. So we have already met our... We've already had 2 false statements, so this one has to be true. The box that claims to be black has the gems. This box is the black box, so it has the gems. Right? The box that claims to be black has the gems. Don't overthink it. It's the one that... This box is saying that it's the... Yes. Yes. I'm always like, are you sure? Is this your final answer? I would be terrible on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We also check the artwork over here. And, what do we have here? It looks like, so there's sand or sand dunes. And then we have, I don't know what this is. Is it a dessert of some kind? Is it like, what would be 2 words in this case? This one's actually, I'm not getting this one immediately. Sand is the one thing that comes to mind, but if it were sand, I don't quite see san and sad. There's something that makes sense that would be the word pairing for this. I see a spoon over here, but soon is the only word that I could think of that would be this. Why would this be soon over here? Late. No, that doesn't make sense either. Okay, I will screenshot this one because I might have to mull this one over because I'm not immediately understanding what those are supposed to be. Think on that one. I will draft this door from the parlor though. We'll see exactly how let's just see what we get. I'm okay drafting this here. Chapel versus drawing room versus observatory. I could see myself taking the chapel here and then just hoping I never have to set foot in it. But I give myself the option to get into rank 3 if I really need it. I don't think I take the drawing room. I don't want to spend the gem. They're already giving me a chapel, so I have those 2 doors. I'll take that instead of the drawing room. Once again, what was the gift? What was the reward from the observatory for 8 stars? I already forgot, man. I already just blocked it out of my memory. Even though we looked at it just a little while ago. All right, we get 1 key. 1 key from the observatory would be fine. We're going to start getting into rank 4 here soon enough. That does remind me, I hope I don't want to forget. Do not forget, we need to change the setting on the security terminal to give ourselves more keycard doors. We have a keycard. Don't forget. Don't forget. I think we might just take the observatory here, actually. Because we have the rotunda, I'm banking on the fact that I'm going to be able to get an elbow that goes out of the left of the rotunda that I can rotate to make sure it gets into rank 3 near the west wing. And then the other room in the rotunda, we're going to be drafting out the top, and I can rotate that to make sure I have access to the east wing. We're going to have options. So giving myself the observatory here and limiting those options is okay, I think. And spending a gem here to get a key feels pretty good, considering we have 0 keys at the moment. And not to mention, banking that permanent progress for later days. Because I think at least the next 2 days in the observatory, there's no single reward at either 9 stars or 10 stars. So we're going to be getting some combination of previous rewards on days 9 and 10, which could be very powerful. I think the observatory is correct here. Let's take it. And we also get the cool observatory music, which is maybe the most important part. Let's check the artwork before I forget. This feels like a pretty clear plane. And plan, right? Floor plans. The floor plans for the house, in fact. I don't suppose there's any details that we really want to make note of on this. Other than that, this is the letter E here. Look at that. The letter E is in, this is the room that we're in right now. 2-1. And so the single letter that is different between plan and plane is the letter E. Ah. It's really cool that detail was there all along. And I have made note of it now. So it is, plan and plane are locked in. Oh, wait a minute. Is this actually giving me Clavis the key? It should be Clavis the key. Yeah, okay. For a second, I thought it was giving me like 2 4-star rewards. I was like, what? Can it do that? All right, there we go. So we get our key as expected. Any extra items from our lucky rabbit's foot? No extra items so far as I can see. And I'm hoping I can figure out what these two things in the parlor are. Why the hell are these? So I just don't know what this thing is. What is it? It's like a pudding cup or something. Is that what? Cup? Cup? But then what would you add to cup to make the other picture? That makes no sense. Let's not forget, security room. Do the thing. Give ourselves as many security key card doors as possible. Security level high, please. High. Yes. I don't think it matters what the offline mode is. And if anything, we don't want to turn the key card system off because that would just give us less information if we somehow got an archives. We want the security key cards active so it shows us the rarity on the rooms. So, okay, good. So now we draft through the rotunda. We take advantage of the rotunda, which is so much fun. Okay, let's just edit that part out. The beauty of doing a playthrough on YouTube is you get to edit out all your stupid moments. And nobody ever knows the difference. All right, drafting out of the rotunda. Let's see what we get here. Aha! That's a commissary pointed in the direction that I would like it to be. And so I think that's what we take. Because yeah, that's what I kind of forced myself into taking because there's no more wild berries. Not that I would want to take a wild berry in this spot, but when we've got 3 gems and 11 coins, a commissary feels awesome. Well, potentially awesome. We'll see what it's offering in a moment. We've got the coat check. I got to remember as well. We have the coat check to go back for, but we probably are going to be putting a lucky rabbit's foot back in there. Maybe we would consider the key card because the key card is very, very nice. But why would you store anything else when the lucky rabbit's foot is what got us the key card, right? But this is it's funny though. It is so fucking weird that they do give us the corridor and the spare bedroom here. What is this cruel? Oh, it's because we are pointed to the observatory. Shit. Does that influence what I get offered here? Does it make the spare bedroom and the corridor more likely because I have that door that comes out of the observatory and the game thinks, oh, you want to connect these, don't you? Not really. I don't really need to connect those. No, thank you very much. If anything, I was thinking it would give me like the hallway or some 3-way room that I would be able to connect to security by rotating it around. It seems so cruel to give me these 2 options when I have the ability to rotate them. But we got our commissary, so I guess we live with that. We live with that. Ooh, I see a metal detector in there. That's exciting. I think I'm gonna buy it. Am I going to draft out of the rotunda first? I think so. Yes, because now we know, well, we know where the commissary is going, but we don't quite know yet what we're drafting out of the commissary, so maybe it's better to draft out of the commissary first. Because then we could, if we just see, because it's the less flexible thing, right? Get more information about what you want to do with your flexibility at the rotunda by taking the inflexible draft out of the commissary. That's probably correct when we're not worried about steps, especially. So let's do that. I did forget to check for artwork. We need to look for artwork in the rotunda. This feels like one room where I have not seen artwork, but we need to look a little more closely. The artwork in the commissary, which today is in 2-2, is what? Stare and star, or stairs and stars, but I guess those are the same thing in this case because the letter that's different is I. Stairs and stars. To be precise, it's the plural, so we'll do that. Stairs, stars. And so this is the letter I. Again, not gonna try to make sense of what these single letters, it doesn't make any sense to try to figure out how the single letters are put together until you have all the single letters. So focus on that first. Let's see what we've got. Oh, there's also salt shaker there. But there are gems. That's great. So we don't care as much about a sledgehammer either because we already opened 2 trunks. So I don't really want a salt shaker or a sledgehammer. I do want the metal detector, but I do also want gems. The metal detector gets us more coins and keys. So it might make more sense to go for the metal detector now. And then as we get coins, we can come back here and get more gems. Have we bought out the gems previously? I'm not sure if we've actually bought out. I had presumed previously that this was an unlimited option, but now we've seen that it's, I don't know if we know for sure about the commissary, but we know the kitchen only has 5 of its cheapest option. I want to say that's probably going to be the same in the commissary. Maybe we've done it already and I forgot, but regardless, I think we do take the metal detector first while we have 3 gems. Like, I want to get all of these gems, but I think the best way to do that is by getting the metal detector as early as possible and spawning as many coins and keys as we can. So let's take that. Good, good, good. Okay, and on top of that, we've got a lucky rabbit's foot. I'm feeling good about our chances here in terms of items, whether those be special items or regular items like keys and coins and gems. We just need to make sure we get doors now. So let's draft out of the commissary and see what we get. Aha. Probably the courtyard. The courtyard, and then we see what we get from the rotunda, except I might actually draft to the left of the courtyard first and then come back to the rotunda. Because there's I would say there's almost a certainty there's going to be an extra item in the courtyard, whether that be a trunk or a shovel. It's maybe not a certainty. There's probably at least going to be some coins lying around. But with a lucky rabbit's foot and metal detector, you'd think there'd be at least something in the courtyard. There's going to be we get an additional gem. We get a gem profit, which is good. And we don't lose any coins by going through the chapel. So I think this is a pretty easy courtyard. It would only be a question of, do we go back to the rotunda first? Like, we could go back to the rotunda and then say, like, draft some three-way room that also points into the courtyard, and we would just save ourselves a couple extra steps. But I don't think I'd do that. I think I might even just draft to the left of the courtyard right now. Let's do that. Let's take the courtyard. I already made note of the artwork in this room. So, and I do, of course, we want to get our gems from the courtyard. And the metal detector is sounding off. We don't have a trunk, but we do have a shovel, which means we get to dig. This is fun. We are having fun, folks. And that's a key. Now that's what I want out of my dig sites. I'll put up with some pebbles here or an old tin can because I already did get a key. So 2 keys feels excellent. Now, there's no artwork in this room, is there? There are some rooms that actually just don't have artwork. And I think the rotunda might also be one of those rooms. So, how important is that detail? I don't know. Is this a common feature with green rooms? All rhetorical questions, don't tell me. But it's something that I'm noticing. So we don't get to make note of whatever the word pairing is supposed to be in this grid space because it's a courtyard. So we'll have to do that on another day. But we do have a shovel, and we've got a metal detector, and we've got a key card. And show me what is behind the left-facing door in the courtyard. Whoa, that's a morning room. Oh my God, a new room. It's actually a green room. I thought this was going to be a shop because the lettering on the menu in the kitchen is yellow. So I thought, oh, that's a morning room. It's a shop. It's a green room. It gives us +2 gems. And tomorrow we start with +2 gems? What? That seems so overpowered. What the? And it's another green room that almost certainly can only be drafted. I'm guessing it can only be drafted on the wings. It's got that window there that you would see only on the side of the building, right? I mean, we're taking the morning room. Of course. Easy choice. And then I think we will grab our 2 gems. And then we'll go back to the rotunda and we'll fill out the rest of rank 3. And of course, we'll explore the new room. That is... oh, man. This game is the best. The endorphin dopamine hits you get from this game is just ridiculous. It's too good. They should tone it down. They need to nerf the dopamine hits. Yeah, we're checking this out. Morning room. Metal detectors going off. I see a flower. I see a thermos. That's not what my metal detector is responding to, though. I see a coupon book. I already spent all my money, but we're going to get more money at some point, and there it is. There's the more money. And now that coupon book is going to buy me 2 gems from the commissary. Bro, this is... No, and there's an upgrade disc. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, now I want to say one thing I think I've noticed. I've been thinking that the upgrade discs are just a random drop. I'm starting to think that's not the case. I think at this point, we probably have enough information to say that these upgrade discs are actually a one-time drop in fixed locations. It's probably the case that you always get an upgrade disc for the very first time when you come into the morning room, just like it is with the office, just like it is with the car trunk, and wherever the other places where we've gotten these upgrade discs. It makes sense. This is such a powerful item. You cannot, it's probably not a good idea to have these just be a random thing that can just show up. Obviously, we did see it in the commissary, but I feel like that's also a one-time only thing. Once you've bought the upgrade disc in the commissary, it's not going to randomly show up again. It's now out of that pool of items that show up there. But that's fine. I mean, this is such a good thing to get. You want to get the upgrade discs, even if it's just a one-time thing. This one, this is our crow. And then row? Is that what I'm seeing? It's a rowboat. I think this is supposed to be a crow. The crow, I think, is used in a few different cases. It might be crow and crowd, crow and crown. I think there might be a few times where we see this crow, which would also make sense why I've seen, I think the Queen of Diamonds also gets used in another word pairing somewhere, because I remember seeing, oh, there's the Queen again. Now she's in the entrance hall and some other place. What's up with that? But she wasn't with the Ace of Spades. Anyway, cat laser brain. Crow row? I'm going to put that for now with a question mark, but I'm not sure about this. Most of them I've been pretty sure about so far, but this one has a little bit of uncertainty. Ooh, there's some stuff. There's an article on the table. I thought there was a lot more on the table at first, but there's a single article here which we will read. Pretty flowers. And our West Wing path. And our 2 gems, of course. And we also get 2 gems tomorrow. That is insane. That is so good. How have we not done this before? I guess that means that's our last green room, isn't it? If we go to our room directory, that's got to be the last one. There it is. So the last room was the morning room, and it is a rare. And I think I'm not sure if it means that it's actually, once it's in the pool, does it get offered at the same rate as the vault? Or is it just that, well, it's rare because you gotta jump through some hoops. You got to get a kitchen, and you got to buy the bacon and eggs. Don't tell me. The morning room. The best thing to go with breakfast is a morning newspaper and a coffee. I actually don't do any of those things. I take my caffeine through pill form, and I don't want to read the news in the morning. That feels like a terrible idea. So, to each their own. November 5th, Reddington Herald, the Baron of Mount Holly names nephew provisional heir. In the blue hours of Wednesday morning, the venerable Baron of Mount Holly, Herbert S. Sinclair, passed away at the ripe age of 73. Okay, so somebody in here was, this is the day after the death of, let's see, November 5th. Yeah, November 7th was a Saturday, right? Day 1. And November 5th would be Thursday, the day after Wednesday. So who would have been in the morning room reading the newspaper about the Baron's death? Anyway, passed away at the ripe age of 73 after a prolonged struggle with a heart condition that had been kept from the public eye until his final days. Esteemed as a pillar of society and renowned for his penchant for crafting puzzles, he was a source of endless fascination to our readers over the years, not least through his popular column, Baron Bafflers. Yes, we have found one of these Baron Baffler's columns, and I was definitely still baffled when I went to look at it again off camera, thinking, can Fresh Brain get it here? Nope, still just as stumped, not a single clue what any of those words are. His popular column, Baron Baffler's, which he penned for over a decade. The particulars of the announcement of his successor yesterday has left his devoted followers with one last intrigue to ponder. The reading of his will precipitated a flurry of speculation. For his niece and presumptive heir, the much-beloved and lamented Mary Matthew Jones, has been missing, presumed deceased, for the past 6 years. Dang, we've been without our mom for 6 years? That's so sad. Mrs. Jones, better known to our readers by her pen name, Marian Marigold, enchanted the hearts and minds of children across the realm. The realm. It's like we're in this monarchy, right? We're in a monarchy, clearly, right? The red crown, the red prince, the red curtains. Maybe it's a dictatorship. Who knows exactly the nature of the realm's government. But the minds and children across the realm with her literary creations such as The Red Prince, Swimbird, and A New Clue. Her disappearance remains one of the age's most tragic mysteries. With her whereabouts unknown, it was Marigold's own son, Simon P. Jones, a lad of but 14 summers, who was yesterday named the provisional heir to the sprawling Cinca Empire. Oh, so that's why Cinca is everywhere. It's because that is our company. Okay, that's a good piece of information. The Cinca Empire. However, this vast inheritance is accompanied by an undisclosed contractual condition. Given the Baron's well-known penchant for tests of mettle and wit, it's clear that the young heir from Reddington, distinguished in his own right as last year's County Science Fair runner-up, faces an extraordinary challenge in the coming weeks. 6 years without his mom, and not really even knowing for sure. That's got to be even worse. It's like you don't know for sure, presumed deceased, but you don't know exactly. Like, God, I can only imagine. I can only imagine the stress and the heartache. But regardless, we press on here. Simon is a tough kid. He just keeps solving puzzles. That's how he keeps his mind off of all the other troubles. We have so many steps. I think it's probably best for us to head back to security now and do the upgrade disc first. And then we draft out through the rotunda and try to fill out the rest of rank 3. And because we have a metal detector and a shovel, let's go ahead and keep buying gems from the commissary when we're there. We might still come back to the commissary and buy the rest later, but I think it totally is fine because we don't... Like, there's a world where you might not come back to the commissary depending on what happens. So might as well save ourselves a couple steps by buying these now, because these only cost 2 with a coupon book, correct? There we go. And 8 gems. Oh, that feels so good. And now let's see what we get offered from the upgrade disc. Another room. Another room permanently upgraded. It feels so good. And it's the Nook. All right. So these have all been upgrades to our common rooms, which I like. Get those rooms that we're going to see the most often. Is this one going to get upgraded to +2 keys? That would be amazing. But I like the fact, oh my God. Oh my God. It's not just... Finishing the thought from before, I like that we're upgrading these common rooms as opposed to the bunk room, which we may or may not even see in a draft. So totally fine with this. The breakfast nook is an option. We, of course, get the one that I was thinking, +2 keys, which is good. But a breakfast nook gets you +1 key plus bacon and eggs. So you get 10 steps, right? And then the morning room in your pool. Dude, I think I want that. This might be recency bias now that we've actually drafted the morning room, but goddamn, that's so good. What's the other option? The reading nook. You will always draw library while drafting in this room? Oh my God. Okay, this is actually a decision. This is a decision. Because now, oh man, maybe the reading nook is actually the way to go. It guarantees that we get the library. And the library is one of these rooms that I'm really interested to draft a whole bunch of times because who knows what information is in each of the books. There's still 4 books that we could order or request via the library that we haven't even gotten the chance to request yet, and we still haven't read the second book that we requested. And on top of that, when you draft out of the library, you're getting super rare rooms. This is another way for us to get access to the boiler room, which I really want to get. This would make the boiler room a lot more likely. I think I want to get the reading nook, because it's also giving us access. The nook is a room, assuming it's not going to change. I'm assuming it's not going to change the rarity. The nook we can get as soon as rank 1. And that means that we could get the library as soon as rank 2, which means we could get the boiler room as soon as rank 2. We would need gems. I don't think the library costs gems. Let me double check this. Yeah, the library does not cost gems. So, you know, assuming you have at least 1 gem early on, then there's, you know, a chance that you're getting the boiler room very, very early. Now, the thing you have to remember is that some of these other rooms that connect and interact with the boiler room also cost gems, I think. At least some of them do. So anyway, I'm thinking too far down the road in terms of how I want to structure things here. Needless to say, even if we're not getting the boiler room offered out of the library, we're getting access to those books. The information, like if I'm replaying this game, whenever I've gotten, however many days it takes us to beat the game, reach credits, whatever we're going to do here on this first run, there's still a Metroidvania element for me that's only active during the first playthrough. And so once I get, you know, it could be that once I know all the things that are in the library, I don't want it anymore. And I would actually want to get the nook or the breakfast nook instead. So this is the one, this is the more situational pick that is going to be most valuable on your first playthrough. Take the reading nook, right? And then you can pick these other ones down the road when you replay the game. That's how I'm going to think about this one. Let's take the reading nook. And we could still get it offered this draft, which is exciting. Now, that doesn't mean that I want it offered this moment. I don't necessarily want it offered this very moment when I'm going to be drafting through the rotunda. So let's not offer that just yet, shall we? I also just remembered that I wanted to look around for artwork in the rotunda. I don't see any artwork now. When I rotate, do I get to see any artwork? Is there any artwork that's hiding behind all of the stuff that's rotating? I don't see any artwork. I don't know if it's like the cloister. You gotta like press some secret switch and all of a sudden the paintings are revealed. But this is a room above the entrance hall. Something tells me we're gonna find those we're gonna get that artwork one way or another on a different day. And that's just fine. Okay, drafting out of the top of the rotunda. Let's see what we get. That's a laboratory. And it points in the right direction. I think this is a pretty easy laboratory. Does it point in the right direction? Yes, we want to point to the rest of rank 3. Correct. Easy laboratory, and we get to experiment. The only issue is we don't have a boiler room, but maybe we'll draft a boiler room through the laboratory. Maybe. Even if we don't, we're getting to do more experiments, and we have plenty of gems to spend. So let's do it. And we will continue here because we want to draft rank 3. If we can fill out rank 3 fully before moving on, we will try to do that. Let's do an experiment. Actually, before I do that, let me just look around the rest of the... Let me look around the rest of the room here, just in case the metal detector didn't pick up something that was over in the corner. That might give me a little bit more information before I do my experiment. But let's... With that out of the way, now we will sit down to experiment. Let me also do one more thing before I experiment. Let's log into the network and just test, because I don't think I actually logged into the network from the security terminal. And this will tell me, this will answer my question as to whether you have to do this Swan Song login in order to do remote terminal access. No, you don't. Okay. So I think the only prerequisite, maybe you don't even have to get onto the terminal at all. Maybe the only prerequisite is that you've drafted the security room or the office, one of these other rooms that has a terminal, and then they're just automatically active. Maybe that's the case. Probably is the case. I don't think the game, based on what I know about the game so far, it wouldn't be so finicky as to make you go through and log into the network at each particular terminal just so it's active. Okay, do we want to check our research logs real quick here? That's right, whenever we spend 2 or more gems drafting a room, we permanently add 1 gold to our allowance. That was the thing we did most recently. What do we get today? Let's do experiment number 3. All right, the effects, or I should say the causes in column A, when you draft a red room, lose 5 steps, and then, oh, that sounds really enticing. I can't wait to try to do that. Whenever you spend 2 or more gems drafting a room, we've done that. For each bedroom you draft after your second? Okay, what are the effects? A letter will be delivered to the mail room. What the hell is that? It says a letter, not a package. So, a letter delivered to the mailroom. I don't know what that is. But it certainly seems like it's something different than a package being delivered to the mailroom. So I wonder if that is like additional information that somehow we would get access to. We've already gotten a letter from our dad. Could we get a letter from mom? Is this somehow... Do we have an... What does this mean? It probably doesn't... I don't know. I don't know what that means. We could also add 3 aquariums to today's draft pool. And we could also gain 1 key for every 2 hallways in your house. All right, this choice feels difficult. It feels certainly more difficult than the first 2 that we've done, because I don't immediately know what to do. Or I don't even have an instinct as to what I want to do. I feel like it's not the aquariums, because the reason to draft the aquariums, I suppose there's a dig site in the aquarium and we do have a shovel. But otherwise, you're drafting the aquariums because they have specific synergies that you're looking for. Bedroom synergies, hallway synergies, whatever the case may be. Which we don't have any of those going yet. The 1 key for every 2 hallways in your house, I don't think we have a single hallway that we've drafted. So this is not very good at the moment. So I think it might just be the letter will be delivered to the mailroom. And then the choice would be, what effect do we pick over here? Probably just whenever you spend 2 or more gems, just take that effect 1 more time like we did before. Because right now we haven't drafted any bedrooms either, and it's going to be a while. Could be a while before we even get to draft our 3rd bedroom. Now, for what it's worth, we have already taken the office out of the pool of items, and the office is one of the more easily obtainable rooms that's at 2 gems. So that is 1 less potential trigger that we could get here for this one. And the rotunda as well, for that matter, but that's a rare room. I wouldn't factor that in too heavily as being... Like, we're not going to rely on seeing, you know, the attic or the vault in order to make this laboratory experiment trigger. But we do still have the passageway. The passageway is still in the pool, and that's a common. We could take for each bedroom you draft and really try to prioritize bedrooms. And there's still a good chance that at some point here, even though we don't have them now, we're going to have a number of hallways available. But I think I'm really drawn to the novelty effect here. A letter will be delivered to the mailroom. I want to see what that does. Like, I very clearly understand what these other 2 things do. The letters, that could be very valuable information. Or it could just be, you know, like a key, or maybe it's a key card. It might be some item is what I'm saying, as opposed to like crucial intelligence to solving the overall puzzle. But whatever the case may be, I kind of want to see what it is. So I think I want to do that one no matter what. And then it's just a matter of, do I want to do it when I spend 2 gems or when I draft a 3rd or more bedroom? I feel like we have 7 gems already, and so the 2 gem one is going to proc more consistently this time. So let's take that one once again, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know when you when you draft a red room, lose 5 steps, and then. So it's like you're giving yourself an extra downside to drafting red rooms. I guess you might take this if somehow you've already drafted the furnace? Question mark? That one seems so bad, though. Okay, let's do our experiment, and we'll see how that one goes. Will it make it more likely that we get the mailroom if we do get some letters delivered? We'll find out. For now, let's keep drafting through the laboratory. There's a reading nook, but it goes in the wrong direction. Fuck. And there's a nursery, but it's a dead end. And there's an archives. So now we probably take the archives, but that's not fantastic. Not fantastic. The reading nook. The reading nook is... I can't take that here. I just can't take it. I can't do it. Why you do this to me, game? Where's my wild berries when I need them? I would love... This is where I would probably take a wild berry. If I still had them. Now I know they're limited, so now I'll be more careful. I think we take the archives here just because it's like... We need to make sure we're opening up our options. I want keys, but I don't want a reading nook that you know, it's a dead end. It's no good. Now, I guess one thing we'll talk about here, which I have not been talking about, is how these rooms are ordered, because now this could be relevant. The way that the rooms do get ordered when you're offered a draft, I think because it's the archives may make this relevant now. I think it has a couple different categories. The first obvious one is that whenever you have gem rooms offered, those get sorted to the right. That part's very clear. It's easy to tell that even in the dark room. What is not always as clear is I think they're also sorted by rarity. So the ones that are more rare, the archives being unusual rarity, this gets pushed to the right. I think that takes precedence. The ones that are to the left are the more common options. So that's, in that case, I think why the reading nook is to the left of the archives here. The other thing I think that does play in is where are the doors? I think normally, I actually don't know about normally, because I don't know for sure what it does with four doors. But I think one of the things it does is if we imagine this were a T-shaped room and the doors were pointed to the left and the right. So say this were a hallway and it pointed to the left and the right. Then you would have two commons. And in that case, because the door on the reading nook points to the right, I think it would actually get sorted to the middle and the hallway would be on the left. I think that's the way it does this. Like if it has the choice, it does left facing elbows first, then it does either dead ends or T-shaped rooms that have like an actual T that goes to the left and the right, and then it does right facing elbows. I want to say it also includes when the T-shaped rooms point to the left and up, that's the same as a left-facing elbow. And a T-shape that points to the right and up, is the same as a right-facing elbow. Now, that's just my speculation based on looking through a handful of my drafts. Let's see if that plays out here as we go. We'll see. we'll get some information after we draft the archives here. We'll see exactly if I'm full of shit or not. But I think that's the pattern that I've been noticing. I think. I want to believe that I've made something that, an observation that can become beneficial to us. That's good, though, picking up some coins in the archives. Like to see that. Is there any additional information on these news clippings now that we know what we know about our mom? Just what we've read before about the Red Prince potentially being a statement held with much skepticism. Held by skepticism by many pundits that viewed the book as a rather thinly veiled political critique of the Royalist Party. Yeah, I don't think there's anything new here that I can see at the moment. Maybe there will be more things, more details that make sense with time. But for now, let's go to the last door in rank 3, and then we'll have our base. We will have built our base, correct? Oh my god, that's a furnace. That's also a patio. Dude, the patio is perfect because we actually kind of want to go back through the other green rooms. So I'll definitely take a patio here. I will take that over the archived floor plan option. The furnace is... I mean, I guess I don't know why we're getting the furnace here. It is a rare room. It's just unlikely to happen. But it's not really a good... it's not a good room to have when you're trying to... If we were to take the gamble and test, you know, does a left-facing elbow show up here? This could be anything because the furnace is rare. So no matter what is here, unless it's also a rare, then they're going to be sorted into different categories, I think. But we take the patio because the patio is awesome. And it also has dig sites. Like, this is great. Patio's perfect. Spreads gems. Does all sorts of good things. We like it. Even if those dig sites most of the time give you unremarkable rocks, but you know. Oh, there's just coins in the grass. Let's go. Let's go. This metal detector is amazing. Think about if we get a workshop and we get to combine the metal detector and the shovel, we are going to be off to the races. We did dig up a coin as well. Dude, we can buy more gems in the commissary. This is so sick. Now, we might as well go ahead and draft here unless it's locked. That would be the only thing that we could, like, maybe save our key. So we might as well try to draft. I don't see anything wrong with doing that. Especially when we have 7 gems, we're not limited on gems whatsoever. So let's see what we get offered here. Now here's, you know, if you were trying to sort of min-max your green room synergy, then there's a world where you might try to draft into the archives, up through the archives, and then to the right into room 4-5. Because of the way that the terrace is angled, I think you can only draft the terrace by coming at it from the west. So we would not be able to get the terrace offered here, but we could get the greenhouse if that also acts the way that I think it does, by having a bottom-only door or a top-only door if you were on the west wing. Do I care that much about that decision in this case? Would I rather get the terrace first over the greenhouse? I would probably want to get the terrace first, wouldn't I? Because that theoretically saves me a gem if I were going to get offered the greenhouse. But if you take the terrace, that's one less room that you're going to potentially be offered the greenhouse, right? You've blocked yourself off from drafting the greenhouse. It's kind of amazing that we were able to draft both the terrace and the greenhouse on the east wing here on day 10, right? It feels like it's something that doesn't happen very often. There is the veranda as well. That is at unusual, but I think if the veranda could be drafted, then we'd have to draft it here from the patio because it lines up the same way that the greenhouse does. All right, I'm not going to overthink it anymore. Let's go ahead and draft from the patio and just see what we get. There it is. There it is, sure enough. More likely to draw green rooms while drafting. I guess that's the reason why you would draft the greenhouse first, is that now you do have a much greater chance of actually getting the terrace. I think I do take the greenhouse here because it can get us the watering can. It can have gems. Like, the greenhouse is just really good, right? And that's also the argument. Besides whatever effects that the terrace or the greenhouse have, like, terrace is really good if you can combine it with a cloister. But the greenhouse might just be the independently better room by itself if you never drafted anything else, because the greenhouse, it does cost a gem, but I think it has 2 gems guaranteed. It has those gem flowers. We'll see if they're guaranteed or not. This is only the second time we would have drafted the greenhouse, and I think we will take it here over a bedroom, especially because we get to use the watering can with the 3. If there's a watering can in here, which I presume there is, that's another reason to draft the greenhouse. If you have green rooms, and we do, so that's 3 more gems we can be getting. Regardless, however you want to slice it, the greenhouse is the very clear choice here. And we're ending up with a green draft, it seems. Another green draft. We don't have a broken lever. Not sure we're gonna want to have a broken lever or care about having a broken lever. Random coin over here. Cool. Oh, there's dig sites as well. Duh. Forgot about that. Dig sites that have nothing. 2 gems. Is it just 2 gems? There's a third one here. There's 3 gem flowers. I feel like we only had 2 the first time. Is that a function of the fact that we have supplied water to the greenhouse, I wonder? Because I was reminded when we got the pump room again the other day, it's not guaranteed that the greenhouse, I think the greenhouse started out without water, and we redirected the water here from the fountain. There's our watering can. Do we just get to use the watering can here? We have to take it to other rooms, I think. So the watering can does not work in the greenhouse, and why should it? Because you've already got water here. There was another dig site I almost missed. Turn up. Yes. We're so healthy on steps. Love it. Okay, let's go ahead and use the watering can here in the patio. Don't see any reason not to just use the watering can as soon as you can. As soon as you can. Haha. You see what I did there? No reason not to. And I don't think there's any reason not to draft the archives while we're here. Because maybe it's a dead end that we end up setting down here if it's a really good one like the vault, and we never even want to come back to it. Although the vault you might want to come back to depending on if you get a safety deposit. But anyway, we're thinking ahead. Let's just see what we get. Locksmith. Locksmith. This is an easy locksmith, right? Holy shit. Are we ever glad that we get a locksmith here? Because we're totally fine on gems at the moment. We just need keys. It's just going to be a question of what we buy at the locksmith. It might just be a whole bunch of regular keys because we have a coupon book. That's probably the pick here. I don't think it's ever a dark room. We have no utility closet. And it's not pointed the way we'd want it to. The dark room, this archive floor plan here is... There's not enough information. The fact that we have an uncommon or a standard rarity dark room doesn't tell me enough about this. If this were like a hallway, maybe now I could say, aha, this is almost certainly a common. And now I can, you know, choose, do I want to try to take a stab at a random common dead end or hallway, not a hallway, but an elbow over a locksmith. But in this case, I don't think I'd want to take any of those over a locksmith. The locksmith is too good for us here. We're heading into rank 4, and we just need to make sure that we're able to open any door that stands in our way. And when you have a key card and when you have a shitload of keys, that's probably going to be the case. So the resource management, I think, dictates here. Plus, we've only drafted the locksmith once before, and who knows what else is for sale in the locksmith. It might always be the same options offered, but let's take it and find out. Now, one thing I have not been doing was I was not noting artwork in either the greenhouse or the patio. But I don't know if there is even artwork to be found. I know that there's artwork here in the archives, which we can make note of. It appears there's a lock, and also, where's the other sketch? A lock and a clock. Okay, that one's easy. Make note of that. We also didn't do that in the laboratory, but we can do that on our way back. But I don't think I have a reason to go back to... I didn't see any paintings on the patio. It might be similar to the courtyard, where any green room that you draft actually doesn't have any artwork. Because, yeah, you don't put your artwork outside, right? You don't put your artwork in a greenhouse. That would ruin it. So let's presume under the assumption that... Well, there was artwork in the morning room, though. So some green rooms can have it if they're appropriately... Okay, because it's only 2 steps, I'm gonna go into the patio. It's only 2 steps. I'm just gonna make sure. It's no big deal. But yeah, it does look like there's no artwork here. It was the morning room that planted a seed of doubt. But now I've assured myself that it is like the courtyard. No artwork to be found. So we wasted 2 steps. Oh god. That's it. The run's over. Wrap it up now. We done. What do you got for me this time at the lockhouse? The lockhouse. The locksmith. the greensmith. Okay. We cannot actually afford the lockpick kit. I did finally get around to taking some notes on the success rate of the lockpick kit. It seems like it's about a 50-50 shot based on our small sample size the one time we had it. So in order to get value out of the lockpick kit compared to just buying regular keys, I think you would have to use the lockpick kit at least, on average, you'd have to use it at least 6 times. If it's a 50-50 shot, you use it 6 times, that means on average you've opened 3 of those doors. So it's been worth 3 regular keys at that point. And that's where it actually is a better deal than having to buy 3 keys separately. But it's not by much. So you have to know that you're getting a lot of use out of the lockpick kit, I think, for it to actually be worth it. Now, do we ever want to take a special key here? We did get a prism key offered. That was pretty cool. It gave us access to a casino. We only have 2 keys, though. 2 regular keys. And because we have a coupon book, it's like perfect for us to buy 2 keys here. What other ways do we have to get our hands on keys? I guess we still have a hallway. And we still have a nook. There's also a closet and the billiard room. So there's actually quite a few ways still at common that we could get our hands on keys. There's the walk-in closet at standard. So then if we take a special key, we're aiming for, like, I'm just like, you know, if the special key is the car keys, that's not amazing because we don't even have a garage yet. And if we do, then, like, I don't think we're going to be getting an upgrade disc again from the car trunk. And so far, we've just gotten, the rest of the time has just been like a battery pack and some other key, like the secret garden key. So, but there could be other special keys that we haven't even tried yet. But the ones that we have, like silver key is okay. The silver key makes sure that we get a room that opens up into a lot of places, into a lot of other doors. And the prism key could be fun to make sure that we get more green rooms. But I feel like it's more valuable for us to just take the 2 keys here. Just take the 2 keys, and if you don't have to come back to the locksmith, you're okay with that. I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to take the 2 keys, take the solid bet, and make sure we've got keys. We also have artwork in the locksmith. In this case, do we once again have... I'm not sure if we have pine as the word this time. What's the word on the left? Flame? Candle? That's a lot of letters. And I don't see how you would make a tree. Tree or pine? Pine becomes... I might have to take a screenshot of this one as well, because this is another question mark not immediately getting. So for now, we make note of 4-4, and we move on. And I guess we check the laboratory then. The artwork in the laboratory is where? It's here. Okay. We have a fishing pole. And a road. It also could be called a fishing rod. So we have road and rod. Got it. Okay, so we've got some artwork that is just stumping us, and we've got other rooms that don't even show the artwork today. So we'll have to get that on another day. Now, as much fun as we are having with this draft, it's also true that we're down to only a single room left. And as much as we are, we're getting watering can value and digging spot value and all this stuff, we really hope we're not super unlucky. Because I don't have a die to change what we get at this next door. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Did I just lose my watering can? Whoops. Oh, is that actually... Oh, and I forgot... Oh, I forgot about the gem that was in the previous room, so wasting a couple steps here. Or potentially, I did totally forget about the patio. And also, apparently if I tab to my... If I go to my tab screen, I lose my chance to use the watering can without, like, exiting and re-entering the room, so make sure to do the watering can first. So we have plenty of gems. No problem there. Just need to get doors. As many doors as we can get. Oh my god. Wow. I mean, I'm taking a spare bedroom. I'm not going to risk it here. But I was hoping, we would get a hallway or a West Wing hall or something like that. But we also do have this limitation with the archived floor plan. That does make things a little bit tougher on making sure we get those doors. A garage here is absolutely hilarious. I mean, I have to take the spare bedroom because there's a very good chance this is a dead end, right? So if we want to keep the run going, which we do. So spare bedroom. And then we're hoping for, oh, yeah, of course, it's a spare bedroom now. So it's got some, whoa! There's 2 dice here. What? We did say that upgrading the spare room to a spare bedroom could get us extra items. Is this a result of that? Or is this because we have a lucky rabbit's foot? Or a little bit of both? Whoa! Okay, well, 2 dice completely changes the run all of a sudden. What in the... All right. We also have a car and a card. This is so clever the way they're doing this. Yeah, I'm not sure why I was stumped on those other... Cat Laser Brain is getting distracted thinking about the other paintings that we haven't figured out yet. But the fact that the Queen of Diamonds is reused as not just face ace, but also card car is so clever. I like that. Okay, and then yeah, only one door. So we keep it going, and of course this is why we bought 4 keys to make sure we keep it going. And that is a veranda, which we will take, right? Greater chance of finding items in green rooms. Now, we have drafted 4 green rooms already, so it's not, like, amazing. But we have to remember that we have a laboratory experiment that is ongoing. So this would proc that, which means we would get a letter delivered in the mailroom, even though we have no idea what that means. So there's no reason to redraw the floor plans here, I don't think. It does, and it keeps our draft going, right? When you have 13 gems, don't stress about the fact that you are spending 2 of them right now. And also don't stress about the fact that you're not opening up doors to the side that go into ranks 4 and 5. Wherever the draft, I feel like the sense that I'm getting is once you've built your base through ranks 1 through 3, just go where the draft leads you from there on out. Don't stress about, oh, I've got to fill out every single room in the place. Like, who knows, maybe there's like an achievement for filling out every single room. Would love to do that someday. But you don't, like, the fact that we're missing out on ranks 4 and 5. It's important in that we know that the farther north you go, the more likely you are to run into locks. So that is a consideration. But it might be a consideration that I'm stressing about too much too often. I don't think this is ever a reroll here, and I don't think it's... we don't have to take a shot in the dark with the archive floor plan either. It's very clearly a veranda, right? So just pay the door its money, and there we have a letter delivered to the mailroom. Hopefully we'll find out what that means. Will it make... We have a sledgehammer now as well, which I think the metal detector does react to both the shovel and the sledgehammer, and maybe other items that are metallic in nature. Anything that's metallic in nature that can be picked up. There's our gem that we get, that we always get in the veranda, question mark. We have a greater chance of getting items now when we draft green rooms. And maybe that gem is one of those. To our dig spots. We get a key, yes. It's perfect. That's the most, I would say that's the most valuable resource for us at this stage. Was there something on the wall here that I missed? No, okay. And there's no, yeah, they don't like to hang the artwork outdoors. So if you're looking to figure out some of these rooms, you gotta not draft green rooms. But that's fine. That's fine. Oh, and this door was not locked. Okay, we're going straight to rank 9, folks. Fuck all the other ranks. Who gives a shit? Okay, I think it's definitely a corridor here. The archived floor plan with a gem requirement. There's still at least, yeah, there's the nursery. I already see it. Common. The walk-in closet, the solarium. There are plenty of dead ends that could be the garage we just saw not too long ago. Plenty of dead ends that could be behind this floor plan. So I think we just, I mean, the corridor is great here. Corridor is great. It's one of 2 hallways that we want to theoretically get before we get a bunk room. We'll see about that pipe dream. But it keeps the draft going, and it unlocks a door. It guarantees that a door into rank 7 that's not locked, that's pretty good value, I gotta say. I'll take it. And we just keep on going. All right, what do we have here? Rain. Where's the other painting? Oh, right here. And wheat? I could see wheat if the corresponding, the other word in the pair were heat. But this doesn't make sense. This is heat. It's probably more likely that it's like storm. But that doesn't work because then what's this word? This looks like wheat. What other stalk? A stalk of wheat. Plant, stalk, and talk. Wheat. And I've got wheat stuck in my head now, but that doesn't really turn into anything but heat if you just manipulate one letter. I think I've got to take a... I might have to take a rain check on this one. Because I'm not getting this one off the bat either. I took so many screenshots of these that I just never studied, so I haven't spent any mental energy thinking about what these combinations of words could be. Is it loud? But why would they emphasize... It feels like it's emphasizing the rain more than the cloud, but I could be... Not sure. Not sure. So, let's keep drafting. God damn it. When we have 2 dice, we got to take a die here, don't we? If we have... If this is the choice that we're given with no dice left, then we'll settle for taking the archive floor plan because we have no other choice. But this is where we use one of those 2 dice that we just picked up. My goodness, what is with all these dead ends? I would have thought for sure we would have ended up with a hallway or a West Wing hall by this point. Even a chapel. That's still what I'm hoping for here. So we redraw. There it is. There's our West Wing hall. The reading nook is also interesting. I feel like the reading nook is going to be much harder to get now that we're at rank 7. If my theory is even right, that you start to add more things to the pool, the higher rank you go. But as cool as the reading nook is, it only gives us the 1 door to draft out of. We need to prioritize doors here ASAP. We want as many doors as we can get our hands on, especially one that points inward. Now, we do get that with the reading nook. So there's a world where you take the reading nook and then, you know, you could get... Well, no, but you're always going to get the library. That's the thing. So the library could get offered, and it could point to the left. And now we're really... You know, we still got 4 keys, and there's key cards. Supposedly, we've set the security level to high, so key card doors are going to be more likely. If we did take the reading nook, and then we took the library, and it did point to the left, that's still, like... It's not amazing, because... I'm just thinking we could corner ourselves. We could somehow get unlucky, even though we have a die left. We do have archived floor plans to deal with. So our options could be limited in a way where we might just like point ourselves up into the corner and be completely trapped. And that's the end of our draft. Which is why I really like taking the West Wing Hall to try to avoid that. But the reading nook would guarantee that we're getting the library. And then another really low, high rarity pick after that, as well as getting a chance to read the book that we ordered. Maybe the reading nook is the right pick. And the thing is, we're not, I got to remember this. It says you will always draw the library while drafting this room. You're still drawing, which means you have 3 choices still. You're not forced to take the library. So I think in my mind, I was making a shortcut, thinking that I was being forced to take the library, not being forced to do that. So maybe the correct pick is take the guaranteed key. The nook that you might never see again gets you that key. Maybe there's even an item because we've got a metal detector and a rabbit's foot. And then we see what we get going out into the open. I'm going to do it. if we end up, you know, with a shorter draft than we might otherwise, like maybe the draft is shorter because we take the reading nook and then we just get a series of unfortunate draws and we don't get enough doors. Maybe that happens. And if it does, so be it. We had a draft that we got a library and we were able to get new information and move that forward to for future drafts. Let's trust that the draft is not going to, we still have a die to use. Let's trust that the draft is not going to completely screw us over. I say that with some confidence. As always, I'm not fully confident in any decision I make. Let's do it though and see where it goes. Let's see what happens. And of course, the metal detector is reacting to the key, but there's also a trunk. Oh my God. We have a sledgehammer. I forgot. I was like, do we use a key on this trunk? We picked up a sledgehammer, dude. Dude, that's amazing. Dude, we have so many gems. Kind of want a freezer now, you know? What if we get library into freezer? I think I'd take it. I think I would definitely take it. And we say, hey, we got our library and we're going to get 15 gems to start the next day with, as well as our allowance, which is up to 10 now. Things are looking up for us. But let's see what we draft out of the nook. Okay. Okay, the library does point up to rank 8. Now, we could redraw here, but I don't think we're going to redraw. I don't think we're ever redrawing. I think it's just a choice between do we want hallway or do we take the library, like we were thinking of doing already. Because here's the thing. If we do take the library, we're not guaranteed to point ourselves up into a dead end up in the corner. There's still a good chance that we just get a hallway or some other T-shaped room that takes us in both directions, or even a passageway, which I would totally buy a passageway coming out of a library. It's less likely because we're going to get less common floor plans, but we could get a cloister, and I would totally take a cloister for 3 gems, because what the hell? Why not? I think for all the reasons I stated, we're going to take the library here. We have a key card. We have keys. We're going to get through the library door no matter what. And then we have a redraw option if we really need it. So we're going to, everything's going to be fine. Just take the less likely option. Although in this case, it's a guaranteed option. It's so weird how this works now with the reading nook. Always getting us the library if we want it. I'm going to take it. And we still have so many steps. If we really want to go back and check the artwork in the kitchen, eventually we want to take our Lucky Rabbit's Foot. I really like this Lucky Rabbit's Foot. I know how good the key card is, but when we do get the Lucky Rabbit's Foot at the start of the day, everything just feels so much nicer. So if we can help ourselves, we're going to try to make it back to the coat check. And we should be able to with the Rabbit's Foot. Or with the amount of steps that we have, we should be totally fine. Let's check our artwork first. Oh, I was like clock and tie, but then I thought about tie for just a moment and realized time. So maybe sometimes maybe it's not the object that's in the artwork, but the concept represented by the object that you want to be thinking about. Maybe. And maybe that's what that candle that we saw earlier, not the candle, but the matchstick, or was it a stick? I'm gonna have to go back and look. Maybe I took a screenshot of it. Yeah, we had like the matchstick that somebody was holding. It was a lit matchstick, and then you had the tree, the pine tree stick. I have to think about that one later. I still don't know what to do about that one, but this one here in room 7-2, we can mark this down as time and tie. We'll get to the pump system book here in a moment. I just want to look for any other details or anything, you know, that I've overlooked previously. Don't want to completely take for granted that I've checked out these rooms thoroughly and maybe there's still something that I've overlooked. Because it's always tough to catch everything the first time through. Or maybe even the second time through, or however many times we've been in the library. But I'm still not seeing that one That one special book that opens the Mist Library bookshelf. But now that we know that the cloister has its own special mechanisms, then, you know, it could be. Maybe we're going to find some information at some point that tells us, go to bookshelf number 10 on floor 2 and book number 35. You know, like the exact pixel that you're supposed to find. You're not actually supposed to hunt for it on your own. You're supposed to be directed there. Maybe. Anything new in our scrapbook? There's this picture here with Herbert Sinclair. And I wondered when I was looking at this again off camera, I wondered if this were a picture of the lavatory, because it does look like there's a bathtub behind him. And it looks like there could be something in the wall, like some sort of opening here. I wondered if this were a clue similar to the drawing room that was showing us the candlestick handle or lever that reveals the safe. Could there be something in the lavatory that's worth checking more closely? Have we actually not checked anything besides the lucky rabbit's foot and the metal detector? In retrospect, the metal detector is not a bad one to check. I do enjoy it. My favorite floor plans, the pump room. Can't seem to pass it up. We've only been offered it like twice. Most drafted parlor, pantry, and reading nook. Formerly regular, just ordinary nook. Most paid for passageway, 10 gems. Yeah, I mean, that thing's expensive and it's common. Makes sense. Most time spent is in the drawing room. What? That must have been that day that must have been the run where I had like 8 hours because I was, you know, leaving the game running while I was doing other things. I must have been in the drawing room. Oh, and it does show you contraptions you've made. I forgot about this page that we have not visited since we did get the, in case you would forget, I don't see how I could forget a detector shovel, but this is logged here if for some reason you needed to reference that. And then our largest purchase was a 14 gold upgrade disc. Yeah. There's still, what are these cutouts here? I don't know what we're supposed to be putting here eventually. I guess we'll see. Most avoided floor plans, master bedroom. This must be a percentage based because we've only seen the master bedroom, what, twice? And I don't think we could even afford it one of those times. Lavatory, though, yeah, that... Who wants to draft the lavatory? Maybe one day? Yeah, I don't know. Although we did just say, maybe there's a clue there. Oh, shit, it tracks your highest grade. That does answer my question then, doesn't it? The more classrooms you draft in a day, the more grades you're going to get. The higher the grade you're going to go. Which it could mean that there's something completely different to find in each different grade. You would think so, right? Grade, if you manage to get to grade 8 or whatever the highest grade is, there's no way they would have those kids just doing the coloring thing, right? So you would presumably get more stuff to learn, which makes me want to, you know, if we manage to get a freezer, we start the day with 15 or whatever gems, might be a good day to draft the schoolhouse since you have so many gems to spend from the beginning. Draft as many classrooms as you want. We're also up to 8 upgrade discs now. Has it been that many already? We're starting to reap the benefits of that because you can definitely, even here just on day 13, it definitely feels like we've got a lot more strength to our runs than the first couple days. But anyway, EPCW pump system user manual. I think this is, well, I don't know what maybe it's just talking about the stuff we already know. Let's see. Pool Series 8. The EPCW pump system is engineered specifically for the luxury requirements of today's indoor, in-ground swimming pool and spa. The EPCW pump system is also expandable, allowing you to use multiple pumps to control the water flow and volume to several different designated tanks and aquatic house features, be it an aquarium, fountain, or good old-fashioned swimming pool. Is this really just going to be explaining everything that I already know? I think it might be. If so, that's kind of a bummer. I guess let's just see if there's any extra details. Whether you're using a single tank system or an array of pumps, the control panel serves as a central hub to your system. The panel is fitted with a number of buttons, one for each different water source. The function is simple. Press a button to select the water source you'd like to adjust. Draining or filling the pool, simply press pool. Yep, regardless of the number of pumps being used, water can only be adjusted from a source if its corresponding button is selected. Yes, we know that. After you selected using the control panel, Next step, set the pump associated with a pump in or pump out. Yeah, we know that as well. The pump may be connected to more than one tank, allowing you to store and retrieve even more water, recommended for cleaning larger Olympic-size pools. In this case, the tank a pump is used can be changed by the simple flip of a switch. We know this already. Dang. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. I was hoping we might get something new, or it might tell us like what's going on with the reservoir and where we would want to drain the reservoir, but it's probably that it's just as simple as you need to get the power to the pump room from the boiler room in order to use that extra tank. I think it's just as simple as that. That's the Occam's razor solution. Who were the borrowers? Gene Ribbon and Paul Withers. More of the staff, I would presume. The staff that would have been responsible for installing the pump system or managing it. Dang, well, that's a bit of a bummer. Nothing really gleaned there. But hey, okay, one more book that's been checked off of the list of things that we're going to read eventually, because now it's been read. And now we can move on to drafting a new door, and we have keys, so we use one of them. And shit. Secret passage, huh? Or we take an archive floor plan. Or we take a redraw. We did get the scenario that I was worried about. Maybe there's an archive floor plan here that gets us to, you know, both sides. It could be a T-shaped room that directs us in both to rank 9 as well as to the other ranks below us. But that's a shot in the dark, and there's a whole lot of dead ends still left in the pool. Three of the common dead ends are still there. And there's still 3 common elbows as well. This might be a place to use your die. I could see us doing it here just because... Yeah, okay, we got offered both the secret passageway and the laundry room, right? So we're drafting out of the library, we have to remember. So we've got the attic, we've got the vault, her ladyship's chamber, the master bedroom probably is also a rare. We know the laundry room is a rare, we know the furnace is a rare. These are all dead ends that are likely to show up here. Now, half of those, maybe more than half, I don't remember what the master bedroom costs, but half of them are going to be, at least half of them are going to be over here to the right. The laundry room is going to be all the way on the right. The secret passage is unusual, so it's in the middle, or it's to the left, even though they're both 1 gem rooms. So the lower rarity gets sorted to the left between the gem options. Does it sort them? It might separate 1 versus 2 gems no matter what. So it could be that a rare room that's 1 gem would be here, whereas a 2 gem room that is standard would be over here. That part I don't remember. We might get an answer to our question here if I re-roll. But if we're taking the secret passage, then at max we have 3 more rooms to draft. And it would be, you know, we'd be wanting to use our die before we go through all of those. It kind of makes sense to try to take a die here to I don't know, what would we be aiming for? One of the problems is that there's a weight room left. A weight room is one of the options left at rare. I don't love taking that. If we took the weight room, would we be able to make it back outside? If we take the weight room, there's still a lot of house left to draft potentially. But we've already drafted the kitchen. We'd have to be getting a dining room to essentially get us all the way back out. But we wouldn't have to take the weight room. There's still the cloister, aquarium, conference room, boiler room. Those are the T-shaped rooms that are available at unusual or rare. I might even go for a great hall, but that's a little more dicey because we have keys, but 4 of them, not 7. Now, one argument to take the archived floor plan is that it's actually not very likely to be a common or an uncommon standard. It's more likely to be unusual or better. But there are still dead ends there. A dead end that we would be happy with would be the mailroom. We'd be happy to see the mailroom because if nothing else, we want to get the package delivered tomorrow, but we also want to see what this letter that got delivered is. But that's basically it. That's basically the only thing that I would be kind of happy with if it's a dead end. Because we don't have the sauna in the pool. I think this is a redraw. Like, we're kind of, like, it's our draft sort of keeps going if we take the secret passage, but not really. So I think this is where you're supposed to use the redraw and just give yourself a little bit better shot to get out into the rest of the house still. Let's do that. We do get the cloister, but we also get the aquarium. And I feel like the aquarium is just better, isn't it? Now, the one argument here is you have 15 gems. You might as well spend the cloister. You're not guaranteed to get a freezer. So why not take the cloister and you get to check out the thing, right? You have the intel now that lets you get into the garden in the cloister, and you happen to have a shovel as well. So take that room and actually fully explore it. And, even though you like the aquarium, it gets you to the right, which is the important part here. That's what I wanted to make sure is that we could get to the east. And it gives you one door to the west that theoretically could get to all three other rooms. But there's no guarantee of that. And the cloister makes it much more likely that you would be able to do that. So let's take the cloister. Because we got gems to spend, right? Cloister it is. Oh, I also totally forgot about the experiment. Another good reason to do this. Okay, now, can we get this to work this time? If we're here... Oh my god, that's sneaky. Did it not appear at first? It didn't. Because if you're just... It took a second for the hand to actually appear. So if you were randomly walking around... I wonder if I move now, would it actually... It's here now. So when I was pixel hunting before, I don't know that I would have seen... I don't think I saw this hand offered to me because you have to be standing in this place and then it activates. Sneaky. One, and then that was a little deceptive there because it didn't, I thought there was going to be a button press animation, but not quite that fancy. But this does get us 3 dig sites. Does it also get us anything to do with this statue? Does the statue, can this be interacted with in any way? There's something on the back. What in the world? I don't remember seeing an allowance token before here. Okay, what the hell? There is an allowance token, which is awesome. Allowance up to 12. There's also, I see letters here. CXET. What? What? Screenshot. There's no... Dude, I'm gonna have to check my footage, but we could not see this before, could we? Is there like some special, like, holographic barrier here that lets you not see what's actually on the backside of the statue? What? Okay, here's a note, once again, to Mr. Nagula. We do see the spelling this time a little bit more clearly than the handwriting from... Who was the other handwritten note from? I don't remember. This one's from Mrs. Babbage, though. Does she like to typewrite her notes? Cat Laser Brain. If you're reading this, it seems the day has finally come, and the cloister is at long last getting some much overdue maintenance. I've left you a literal token of appreciation to serve as positive reinforcement, which should grant you a bit of extra spending money each day while working on the estate. We've learned from our dealings with your predecessor that it is much cheaper in the long run to be generous. Oh, God. Okay. So this was meant for Mr. Nagula, but we're the ones reaping the benefit. We'll take it. A coin and then a turnip. Are we going to go 3 for 3 on our dig sites here in the cloister? No, okay, of course not. I thought maybe they buffed the drop rate of the dig sites in the cloister, but then again, not so much. I want to know what's up with these letters. I'm wondering if they're in any way related to the letters that we've now been determining between the letter pairs, the word pairs, I should say. What exactly is going on? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? What I do know is that there are security keycard doors to rank 8 and 9, which I love to see, which means I don't have to spend a key. Perfect. So let's draft to the left. That is a solarium. There's also a pantry here. More unusual and rare rooms while drafting. I mean, kind of yes, right? I want that to happen because I want to be able to get something like a master's bedroom when I have gems. I think it's just a solarium. We probably are not. I'm gonna. We'll test this out. I kind of want to test this out with the solarium and see, but I don't think we're getting. We would never get. The allowance tokens are going to be like upgrade discs, is what I'm trying to say. Those are not going to be duplicated. I don't think you can get more than one allowance token from the solarium. Could be wrong. Now, the one argument here for the pantry is that it does let you draft both rooms up in the top left, no matter what. And it would get you 4 coins and presumably some fruit, although for the first time we didn't have fruit in there. What am I trying to get if I take a solarium? What am I trying to get offered to me? Her ladyship's chamber, the vault, the attic. Those would all be good rooms to get after getting a solarium. And there's still a bunch of unusual rooms as well, like the boiler room that we'd still like to get our hands on. Just for my own curiosity here, what is the common room here that is 1 gem? A nursery? That's got to be what it is. So this is a nursery, and I don't think we're ever taking a nursery here over a solarium. It's funny that we're drafting a solarium next to a cloister, potentially. We want to get the more unusual and rare rooms, especially when we can afford them. And there's no guarantee that we're going to get the solarium to come back. If we take the pantry here and try to give ourselves one more room to draft, let's do the solarium. And we will check it. Oh, there's fruit as well. So yeah, we'll definitely... Oh, there's a dig site too. There's so many reasons to step into this room. Nice, nice, nice. And a coin purse? Are you kidding me? Dude, as if we... Oh my god. Okay. I guess that's to replace the allowance token that's now gone. Good to know. Can we look forward to items in the trading post to replace? We get a key from the dig site as well, dude. Okay, dig sites today are, I feel like, are above average. There's a black pawn in the solarium. I'll note that if I didn't already. I did already note that. And then the... What is the... We have a chart. I had one combination of paintings that had occurred to me is because I had thought about stonks. Which one does that go with? I think it's also paired with the mine cart. So chart and cart. Here though, this is more like a crate. It wouldn't be rate and crate, would it? This is, box doesn't quite make sense. Chart? I don't think crate and chart works. We're substituting too many letters there. This is another one I'm going to have to think about. Okay, now let's draft the other security keycard door. That is a clock tower. And also a dining room. Clock tower. Tomorrow you will start with 1 key for each tomorrow room you draft today. The clock tower potentially gets us that stopwatch again. I could be drafting into unknown territory here without the restriction of steps or keys, or we wouldn't run into the same problem that we did the first time with that silver stopwatch, is that we only had 1 gem and we couldn't buy the music room. We should also think about what the archive floor plan would be. An unusual rarity room at 1 gem. There's probably a few possibilities here. I don't think the garage is one of them because of the room that the garage couldn't get offered in this spot. You could get the servants' quarters. The servants' quarters would get us 2 keys, which would be good. 2 keys for a gem would be fine. I don't think it would offer us the secret passage because it's not in a position that makes sense. It could be the boiler room. Like, it could actually angle the boiler room so it's pointing at the antechamber and to the top left. So the servants' quarters, the boiler room, the aquarium is also an option. So if we wanted to draft the top left room, then taking the archived floor plan here is actually the... Well, we could just take the dining room. The dining room is the other thing. We could just say, don't spend any of your gems and just get a meal. Assuming that the dining room serves the meal. I'm gonna assume that the dining room works that way. We're already here at rank 8. We'd be going to rank 9. The dining room should have the main course active. We don't have a boiler room, so we'd only be getting 20 steps, but that's still great. And I think maybe that actually is the smart pick now that I think of it. I mean, is it the smart pick? It certainly would alleviate any fears we have about steps. We're still at 43 steps. Should we be really scared about steps at all? Probably not, now that I think about it. I'm just, I'd like to get the rabbit's foot back to the coat check. But we still have plenty of steps to do that. The only thing that would get in our way would be drafting a weight room. I just really don't want to draft a clock tower and put myself on the clock when we have the archive floor plans to consider. I mean, the silver stopwatch ultimately is pure upside. It's only a downside if you rush yourself into a suboptimal choice. So in the absolute worst case, you just save yourself like a step from exiting the clock tower, and you just use all your time thinking about the one choice in the cloister. And maybe you save yourself, like if we drafted the door out of the cloister that goes to the right, we could save ourselves a key. So the clock tower may just be the right choice. Now, I do have to remember that unusual and rare rooms are more likely. So the chance that we see the clock tower again is reasonable if we take the dining room and actually draft into the last room up there. So maybe we do that. Maybe the dining room is actually the less likely option here. And we should just take the steps while we can and just never worry about steps again the whole run until we get a weight room by taking an archive floor plan. Then we'll have to worry about steps. I think it's actually the dining room here. This might be wrong, but of course any decision you take might be wrong. I'm going to take the dining room because there is still a dream. The dream of drafting every single room in the place is still alive. That dream is not yet dead. There's our dinner bell. Okay, we got our answer. So the meal is served. And there's a salt shaker as well. What the hell? Does this apply to the whenever you eat food, gain an extra step? That should apply to this meal, right? Our country pie, our country stew pie gets a little more salt and gets us an additional step. Although we could wait. We don't have to do this just yet, right? We can draft this other room first, although it's not going to be a boiler room. There's never going to be a boiler room offered to us up here. So it probably makes no sense to, like, maybe you could, we just eat the meal. Just eat it. Don't overthink it. It's not worth trying to min-max. Just take the meal while it's there. Get your 63 steps. That +1, just that little extra salt. And now we drop this way. Now there is a key here, right? So you could say, maybe you're not supposed to use a key. I'm going to use a key. Because now this could be the garage, I think. Or it could be a music room. And that's a major key and a minor key. So we get our key back that we just spent. And we get another letter delivered to the mailroom. That's a music room. Pretty easy music room, if you ask me. Once again, the archive floor plan here. Well, we don't know what the rarity is. So it could be a nursery. It could be a bunch of stuff. I think the music room is the key. It's the correct pick here because it gets us these keys that we're going to need. Take the music room and you get a letter. Is this our third letter delivered to the mailroom? I hope these are good. I hope we get a mailroom so we can find out what they are. And if we don't get, Ooh, is this a new key? If we don't get a mailroom offered today, I certainly hope that whatever those letters are will carry over to the next time we draft the mailroom. That is a prism key. All right, it just wasn't lit up before we had grabbed it, but we get a prism key back. Cool. And we've drafted up fully into the up left, the west wing corner. Ooh, is this the first time we've seen the? I know what this combo is: chief and chef. That one stands straight away. Stands straight out. Chief and chef. And it does remind me that I want to check whether I can play the drums. Cat laser brain. But also I need to check the artwork here in where the dining room is. What do we have here? Plain and... Feels like a lamp. Plain and lamp? That doesn't make any sense. Flame and... Lantern is too long to... Like, it has... almost all of these are like 4 or 5 letter words. I'll take a screenshot on this one. I don't know. Okay. We've got keys. We've got steps. We've got keys. We've got gems. We just need doors. And we have no dice left. So does that mean that you use a prism key here to guarantee that you get a green room? I think maybe it does. Let me think about this just a little bit. But we're in a cloister, and getting another cloister wouldn't be fantastic, but we could get an aquarium, which would be great. An aquarium or a courtyard would both be options here. Are those the only 3 options, actually? When you have a green room that's not on a wing, I think those are the only 3 options. Solarium could be offered. We wouldn't want to take a solarium, but I think that's all we have that we would I think we use the key here. This is where you use your prism key. Because you're so constricted here, you need to make sure. You need to make sure that you get doors. And the green room, like, yeah, if we could still get a green room, the courtyard or the aquarium could point to the antechamber and down, and then down or to the right. It could happen, but we just don't want to get a dead end or an elbow that points into the antechamber. That's the one thing we want to avoid here. And our prism key gives us the best chance of avoiding that. Unfortunately, we do get the courtyard. We do get the courtyard that's offered here. We do also get what could be an aquarium, but what could also be another solarium. I think the special cost being bypassed. The solarium costs a gem, right? The solarium does cost a gem. So this could be the aquarium or it could be the solarium. So I think you just take a courtyard here. I'm glad that the door points out to the right. There is also a world where you take the cloister just to proc your experiment again. We don't know what these letters do. But they got to be good, right? The letters to the mailroom have to be good, don't they? So you could just proc your experiment again, and you absolutely guarantee that you're facing in 2 directions, and you still have 5 keys left. But now your gem stockpile is starting to dwindle just a bit. I think I'm gonna take the courtyard. It's got the one. Man, all the gems in the world don't do you anything if you don't have doors, though. You can be as greedy as you want with gems, but if you run out of doors to draft, the thing is, we know we can at least get through the door. The one door in the courtyard is not going to stand in our way. Keys plus key card. I'm going to take the cloister. I'm going to do it. We get the additional dig site. We get the proc on our laboratory experiment, and we get the additional door. We still have 6 gems. Yes, it's a third of our gem stockpile, but like I said, If you don't have doors, those gems don't mean a thing. Unless you get a freezer. Different story. Taking another cloister. It hurts, but I'm taking it. Because I think it's correct. Yeah, see, at first that hand doesn't appear. It's like a momentary delay. So if you're just randomly running through pixel hunting, you're not going to come across it. That's smart. That's a good way to do it. Old shoe. God damn it. These dig sites are really, like, they're good when you get a key. And they're good when you get a coin. And they're good when you get a turnip. But they're less good when you get a turnip and you already have 59 steps. And of course, they're the least good when they have absolutely zilch. I hate dig sites. I hate them. Okay. There is a keycard door here. So we probably just take that one and don't spend a key. Right? Or we can see if this one has a key that we'd have to spend. Okay, so now we use the one that doesn't need a key first. Preserve resources as long as we can. That is a casino when we have 0 coins. Sorry, 1 coin. It's a chapel when we have 1 coin. I think we need doors here, don't we? We need the doors. We need the doors. The archived floor plan would be probably, let's see, this chapel, if my theory is correct, then this chapel points to the right. So there's a good chance that this is just a dead end. Or it's a floor plan that points to the left. Sorry, an elbow that points to the left. In either case, I'd want the chapel. And the casino is just, now the casino does get you coins. So this is the argument. The argument for the casino is it does get you 15 coins. It gets you 15 coins. We don't have a broken lever, so we don't get access to the golden slot machine. And I don't think we've already put 3 shops in our house that are way back at the start. And we're not desperate to go way back. The one thing we would consider going back for would be a locksmith. And we don't need to do that. So I think it's just the chapel here. And we keep our draft going, right? Rooms, rooms, rooms. Doors, doors, doors. Let's do it. And then I think we go into the chapel as opposed to using a key. Yet over here, we're totally fine on steps. So we can afford to be a little steps inefficient. The metal detector's going off here. There's another gem here. What the hell? We have a rabbit's foot. I gotta remember. Dude, the metal detector is actually going off. Someone finally dropped their tide. Look at that. Do I even want to pick that up yet? Because maybe I'm going to come back through the chapel and I'm going to pick that up. How min-max do I want to be here? Why don't we draft first? Let's see what it will allow us to draft. That one's locked. This one's probably also going to be locked. So now we have 3 locked doors and 5 keys. And we're going to have 2 coins. I feel like I want to draft at least the door that goes to through the bottom of the chapel first. And we would be looking for... We have to keep in mind that unusual and rare rooms are more likely now with the solarium. Let's just go ahead and draft onto the east wing and see what we get. The only potential consideration here is if you were trying to either get or avoid the terrace, you might wait until you're like down to the square below the one here that's to the right of the chapel. But I think that's too much of an overthinking consideration. So let's just, there's so many things to consider in this game, and some of it I don't have enough information for. Like, we know that rooms are more likely to be locked the higher that you go, the higher the rank. But I'm wondering, just like it seems like once you've reached a certain rank and you've added certain rooms to your pool, now wherever you draft, those rooms are available. Like the aquarium, we made it all the way to rank 9 at one point, and then we came all the way back to rank 1 and we drafted an aquarium down there, even though I don't think there's any chance. So far, we've never seen an aquarium offered when we're just at the entrance hall or anywhere in like ranks 1 and 2. What's the earliest we've ever seen an aquarium? Like the aquarium does get offered when we have like the secret passage, but otherwise it feels like the minimum is like rank 8 or 9 that we just have to get We have to get to there to even see the aquarium offered naturally. At least from the results I have so far. I'm just using it as an example because what I'm thinking of, does the same logic apply to keys? Where once you reach rank 9, now all the doors are more likely to be locked. Even if we made it back to rank 4, does the same like drop rate on locked doors happen no matter where we go now? I don't know if that's the case. It could be that if we do manage to get back down to those lower ranks, they have their own locked door offering rate. It wouldn't be an offering rate. It would be the rate at which they appear. But you know what I'm trying to say. All that to say, let's just use our key here and see if we'll be able to draft every single room in the house. Let's keep that dream alive. Until it's dead. Speaking of the aquarium, that's kind of what I was hoping for. It does get us, it guarantees that we get a room that goes into both directions. It also technically counts as our second hallway if somehow we get the bunk room offered at this point. We would get to double our keys. And I think I'd rather take that instead. At the same time, the clock tower here could be a big game because both the chapel and the cloister are locked. And we would be able to open potentially both of those doors without spending a key. That could be a big deal. So this is worth thinking about. And not to mention, we would be banking a key for tomorrow. And sure enough, we did get another chance at the clock tower. But it's only our second time drafting the clock tower. We don't even know for sure if that silver stopwatch is a guaranteed thing. It feels like it would be, especially on a day when we have the lucky rabbit's foot, right? Maybe that's a reason to take the aquarium, though, because there are more items that would be likely to show up in a bedroom like the aquarium. The clock tower also guarantees that we're not spending gems. We could take like the most expensive gem rooms, like on the spot. Would we do that even if they were behind an archived floor plan? Both the foyer and the ballroom could get offered that they're 2 gem rooms. There's still the casino as well. But we would probably take each of those on the spot to get one more proc from our laboratory experiment. Although we have to spend the gems, don't we? So I don't know that the laboratory experiment would proc. I don't think it would trigger when we're getting the effect from the silver stopwatch. I'm just taking some extra time here to look through my options at both unusual and rare and think what would I be like willing to take in a panic if I was under the pressure of the stopwatch, especially if I have to pick an archived room. Like there's a world where we would draft the cloister first. We would like run back through the chapel to draft the cloister and then come back. Like, because if I have to panic at the cloister and end up with like a dead end, that's better than ending up with a dead end through the bottom of the chapel. And we could like take a little bit more of our time. Like the stopwatch, like you have to run down the stairs. That's the first thing of the clock tower. And then you have to do the drafting as well. So getting like 2 rooms drafted is probably as much as I'm going to be able to do given the constraints. Anything that we get. But if we do that, right, if we're getting 2 like expensive rooms for free, both in terms of gems and keys, that's pretty huge. And we're banking whatever progress we make towards tomorrow. This clock tower is pretty awesome, actually. If there's a guaranteed silver stopwatch. If there's no stopwatch in here, then this ends up being a much worse decision. But also, there's no guarantee that if we take the aquarium at 4 keys right now left, there's still so many rooms to draft. The chances that we actually draft every single room in the house still at this point, I feel like are pretty small. I'm kind of thinking we take the clock tower. Let's take the clock tower and have a little bit more look forward to, maybe having some more fun with the... If nothing else, we get to see if that stopwatch is offered again. Let's quickly take one more look around the chapel. I do remember that the coins are here, and I still don't want to pick those up just yet. But I was thinking about artwork in the chapel, and it is interesting to me. I'm realizing that it looks like there is none of the randomized artwork, or it's, well, seemingly randomized artwork, but the artwork that is, it's just the stained glass windows, isn't it? There's none of those word pair sketches here in the chapel. Okay, interesting to note that. Let's go up the clock tower. I do think there's artwork in the clock tower. Yeah, it takes at least like 10 or 15 seconds just to get down the stairs. They do that on purpose, right? What do we have here? Once again, we have our floor plans or blueprints. And we have a plant. Plant and plan. Seems like the most logical connection there. So for 8.5, we'll say plant and plan. Oh, it's not the silver stopwatch, it's the compass. Oh, man, now I feel terrible. Now I feel terrible about making this decision. We're still gonna bank the keys for tomorrow. But now this stopwatch, not stopwatch, but the compass doesn't really do anything for us, does it? I feel like this compass is like the worst item. And I wish I had a trading post to go trade it in. Because do I even take it here? It's supposed to help us get north. We're already north. We can't go far. We can't go any more north. All right. I'm a little bummed. I guess there's a black rook here in the clock tower that I can make note of, but I feel like those are probably a better than 50-50 shot that that's a red herring. Can I make any more sense of this poem now? I suspect that this is going to have to do with what we saw underground. We saw this symbol. I think we might have even seen it the exact same day that we took the stopwatch. I'm not sure. Or the clock tower. The first time we took the clock tower, whatever day that was, we also did see this symbol in the underground mine. And then we saw past the minecart, there was that section where it looked like we had a bunch of platforms to turn in order to connect to a bunch of other platforms. Maybe it was just one central platform that turns to connect to all of them. But I think that's if I had to guess, these are directions for the ordering that you're going to turn that platform. You're going to be turning it south to a swan and then west to winds or something like that. It's the 4 different directions that you have to do, because that's where this fourth comes into play. We'll see if we can piece that more together when we actually have something to go on. This symbol here is probably important as well, little flower symbol, because I feel like this might be part of whatever that set of platforms is. This is like a broken off representation of what's underground. I'm not going to pick up this compass though. Like there may be some secondary effect that I'm missing out on by doing this, but I just know that I remember the day that we had the compass where we ended up getting like the secret passage as well as the ballroom or something like that. This is actually where we got the clock tower, isn't it? Because it ended up, I remember feeling jebaited by the fact that I got the silver compass because I did not go back to the ballroom to up my gems, and I missed out on drafting a music room. But that was the day we had the compass, and it definitely steered. We had a very different offering of rooms than we would have had otherwise, and I don't know that I want that if it's going to limit my rooms that open up into more doors. I'm not taking it. I make note of it, that it's one of the options that can appear here in the clock tower, but I'm not taking it. I want my silver stopwatch. Now that I'm ready for it, I want it back. Because that's value. That's value. All right, now we're prioritizing tomorrow rooms. If we get a freezer at this point, that's more than fine. We'll probably take a freezer. I still don't want to pick up these coins just yet. I think I want to actually draft this room first. Or do I take the cloister first because I'd rather put a dead end over there? Maybe I do that because there are still many more dead ends in the room, in the pool, especially at unusual and rare. And if I get an attic or I get a mail room, I want it to go over here. And we have the steps to spare, so let's do that. Wait, there's metal detector going off in this room? Or is it reacting to the coins on the other side of the wall? I think it actually is. I didn't realize it could do that. I thought the metal detector only is going to work on the room that you're in. Doesn't have that limitation. Let's use a key here. Oh my god, we got it. We got the vault. That is a vault. 40 coins as well, with 55 steps. Do we go back to the locksmith now? Probably. The only issue... Oh, and the commissary as well. We go back, I think, and we buy more stuff. To get back to the locksmith, it's 9 steps to the commissary and 13 steps to the locksmith. So round trip is 26 steps. That still leaves us with 34 steps. Sorry. What am I saying? 29 steps. That's still more than enough to like get back outside. I mean, this is obviously a vault, right? Because we can still buy more gems in the commissary. This pays for itself. We also have a coin purse, so we get way more than 40 coins. If it works the way I think it does, we should get 53 coins. So of course, now I wish I would have taken the aquarium. I could just say, you know what? I'm gonna go and turn in my Lucky Rabbit's Foot right now. When I go back to get to the commissary and the locksmith, I say, you know what? I've gotten my value out of my Lucky Rabbit's Foot. Let me just throw that thing back in the coat check outside, spend those 6 steps or 8 extra steps, and then I have like 20 steps or whatever to do the rest of our draft in here, and we don't have to go anywhere else. I think that's the smart play. We've gotten our usage out of the Rabbit's Foot. I'm just a little bit wary, you know, when we've already gotten the dining room and we've already bought out the kitchen. We're running out of ways to generate more steps. And if we don't get like a pair of running shoes, then it's probably not going to happen. And there are still red rooms we might want to draft. And like, it makes more sense to me to just say, you know what? We've got a metal detector. We've got a shovel. Like, let's just live with what we've got. The Lucky Rabbit's Foot doesn't change the offering rate on rooms. Whatever rooms we get, it's not making those more rare rooms appear. That's the solarium that's doing that. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to take the vault. And we get another letter delivered. I really hope we get a mailroom. Let's get our coins. Yeah, metal detectors are going crazy. It should be 53, right? Because we should get a coin for every 3 that we get. So we're getting 39, we're getting 40 coins, but 39 is the part that's divisible by 3. A third of that is 13. Unless it's giving us the bonus in a different way than I think it is. 53. Okay, that does work the way as I expected. We also check, I think I know what this pair of sketches is. We've got paint and pint. Paint and pint in room 7-3. And there's a white rook in the vault. So many fun notes that we're taking today. Oh, right, and of course the safety deposit box, well, I say of course. I just now have realized. I don't think I would have guessed this before. It's funny, I think I do this, I've done this a lot during my time playing video games, where I have a question about something in my mind, and then the moment that question gets answered or clarified in some way, I immediately think to myself, of course it's that way. And I just pretend as though it was never a question in the first place, because of course it's obvious that the vault or the safety deposit box would act just like the file cabinet. It's a one-time unlock. That was not obvious to me until just this second. It makes sense now because there was an allowance token, and just like upgrade discs, allowance tokens only happen the one time. So yes, you get to come back and you can re-examine the passport, if you so choose. Still doesn't seem clear to me what information on this passport is actually of use to us as of yet, other than a little bit more intrigue to our mom's story. Fen Aries. Fen Aries. It could be that this symbol here is very important, but I'm not sure yet. It looks like all these little symbols are like the mountain that we saw on the little puzzle that was in the trading post. I think had this same mountain symbol at each of the corners, but I have no idea why it would be important in terms of the passport. I did just remember, by the way, the morning room does synergize with the clock tower. I had completely forgot about that. So we are starting tomorrow with 2 keys, if that works the way that I think it does. So that's good. I also just realized that all this stuff I'm thinking about going back and buying gems and keys, and I'm like thinking about how I'm gonna optimize my steps and maybe drop off my lucky rabbit's foot. We should actually draft the chapel first, because we could get really unlucky and end up with a dead end out of that room. That's our last door to draft out of. And yeah, I might be paying I might be paying one more tithe than I need to here, but now that I have so many coins, I don't care. I don't care nearly as much as just figuring out what am I going to have out of this door, right? I don't think there's anything that I could do. There's no other doors to draft, right? And I don't have any other ways of getting my hands on dice, as far as I know. So we might as well draft the chapel here and get this information before we go back, because we have 3 keys and we have 3 gems, right? So if we really wanted to, we could like buy an attic here, although that wouldn't make total sense unless there was something in the attic that we wanted to coat check and just, dude, we've drafted a coat check. We get 3 keys tomorrow. I hope the clock tower works the way that I think it does. Tomorrow, you will start with 1 key for each tomorrow room you draft today. I don't think though that means that they have to be drafted after the clock tower. We're starting the day with 3 keys tomorrow. That's hype. Okay, but either way, we're still drafting this room, I think. Let's do it. And this will at least tell us if we have options. Okay, we're gonna have options. We've got the aquarium. Good. That's what I was hoping for, an aquarium that points the way we want it. So now we take the aquarium, and now, and there's apparently gonna be coins or keys or something in the aquarium, but I'm not gonna step in there just yet, because now I am gonna take the time and just think through how to organize my plans here to go back, buy some stuff, and I think at this point turn in my lucky rabbit's foot. I guess I did also forget to check the artwork in the Nook, which is room 7-1 today. And I think I do see that it's spine and pine, or spines and pines, whichever way. It's the S that's the single letter difference, so noted. So then let's buy out the rest of the gems in the commissary. Oh yeah, I guess we picked up a salt shaker somewhere else, which I forget right now, but the gems, there should be 3 more of these, I think. Yep, okay, so it does look like there's 5 of whatever the cheapest quantity item, bananas, gems, whatever the case may be. Although the locksmith, I think, is unlimited. We'll find that out here in a moment, maybe. But I think we already tested that the other day, and it was unlimited. So if we're thinking how many keys we might need, we have 2 right now. We have a key card as well. We probably don't need, like, there's 12 more rooms potentially that we could draft if we're able to somehow get every single room drafted. There's probably only, you know, what percentage of those doors would have a key or a lock versus a key card. I'm not even sure if we probably can get a lockpick here and get the lockpick kit and get enough value out of it to justify. We just need to get it to proc, like, I think 3 times for it to be better than buying 3 keys. Would we get it to proc 3 times in the remaining 12 doors? Probably. Am I being too optimistic there? We have 5 gems, and we are much more likely to see rooms still offered, like the attic or the wine cellar. But of course, the attic could have more keys. Like, you know, you could make the argument, well, just spend your coins because, you know, what else are you gonna, you don't have any way, there's no gold sink that you have at the moment. But we could get a casino. We could get a freezer, right? I think the effects of the freezer have worn off, or its cooldown period has worn off. So we could get a freezer still. So you don't want to just throw away your coins necessarily on a bunch of keys that you can't carry over. Unless you get a laundry room. But then, no, you'd have to have your coins ready to go the moment that you draft the freezer. I'm always thinking of some fun shenanigans that you can cook up, but these shenanigans rely on you drafting multiple rooms that you might not even see offered once. So I always have to reel myself in on how optimistic am I being here. Way over optimistic, probably. There's also the chance that we just get the bunk room, right? And that would activate. If we got a bunk room right now, we have a corridor and we have an aquarium. The bunk room would actually double our keys. So, like, would you ever live in the world where you're like just buying a key here and a lockpick kit? Well, you'd be better off in that case if you're trying to go for the bunk room. You're better off buying like 2 keys and not buying a lockpick kit at all, and then doubling your keys with the bunk room to get 8 of them. And the only reason I'm thinking about a bunk room is that we've taken a solarium. So these rooms that are unusual and rare, we can actually think about them showing up. We could still get the servants' quarters as well. There are other sources of keys. The locker room. Well, no, we don't have the pool yet. Should we buy the special key and see what that gets us, and then we can have some more information? Because I feel like there could still be special keys that we haven't seen yet. We know there's supposed to be 12 major keys. I think we should at least buy the special key option, since this is the one that could have something we haven't seen yet. Let's try this first, and then we can overthink things from there. It is another prism key. Okay. We still... we don't know exactly how the prism key works with the aquarium, if it works at all. Would it just give you a whole bunch more aquariums? You will draw floor plans of that same color. Yeah, how does that interact with the aquarium? That's what I want to know. Maybe we'll find out here for science. The other consideration is I don't know if a lockpick... I don't remember if the lockpick kit works in the Great Hall. Like, maybe we want to draft the Great Hall and we would rather have regular keys for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and try to split the baby here. I'm going to spend some of my gold, but not all of it. Just because we don't have a gold sink yet, I don't love the idea of carrying around a whole bunch of gold that's going to go to waste. So why don't we go ahead and get some use out of it? Let's buy a lockpick kit, which we should theoretically still be able to get use out of. Let's at the same time buy some keys. I think I'll buy 1 set of 3 and 1 single. That feels okay to me. Then we still have 17 gold, and if we do get a casino or we pick up more gold from, you know, we could still get a sink that we want to use our gold for. So let's kind of like toe the middle line here. And now I'll head back to the coat check and drop off my rabbit's foot. Oh, there's a metal detector going off here? I guess there was some coins that were spread by the office. Ah, didn't even think about that possibility. It can spread coins out to the outer room? Interesting. Is that ever going to be worth going back for? In this case, it was. Just as a random surprise. Look at that. It was still early in the day when we spread the coins, so it wasn't like a huge... there was a pretty good chance that there were coins that could be spread out here. I just didn't know that that was even a possibility. So there you go. So much learning being done. Learning that the berries, the wild berries are limited. The fact that they don't, the pool, if you use them on the outer room, you're going to be drawing from the entire set of dead ends, not just the ones that the outer room normally drafts. So much amazing information that we are gleaning. Okay, and this gets us back to the aquarium, back to the chapel. So we pay the tithe again, but then we get back to the aquarium still with 15 steps, and we even get another key. So if I'd have known that, I could have saved myself a little bit of gold, but it's fine. It's fine. We get an old rusty nail as well. Pog champ. I'm going to draft over here. I'm going to try to... If this is a dead end that we have to put on this side, I'm more than fine with that. Not going to use my special key here, though. If I'm going to use the prism key in the aquarium, it's going to be in the other direction, I think. Let's use the lockpick kit first. It worked! Oh my god, it gives me a terrace. Yee. Probably take a conference room here. We could still get... pretty small chance that we get a locker room. We'd have to get a pool first. We've already used the office. And The other spread option is the secret garden key. The secret garden. There's one other spread, isn't there? Maybe not. Maybe those are our only spread options. So the conference room, we would only be taking it as really just to have another door to draft from. So maybe it's the archived floor plan here. What are our 2 gem options remaining? Now I have to keep reminding myself. I don't think this would be a passageway. Because it's up against the east wing, I don't think a passageway could be offered here. What other 2 gem options remain? A casino. The casino is one of them that could be offered here. The other 2, there's 2 others, the ballroom and the foyer, but those also could not be offered here, could they? Because they would point into the wall on the other side, and the game doesn't allow that, I'm pretty sure. Same with the drafting studio, that's out. Could it be the master bedroom? I feel like this archive floor plan is either the master bedroom or the casino. I'm not sure that the master bedroom costs 2, but I think it did. And if it's the master bedroom, like, we're fine with that, you know? That's, I mean, we don't really necessarily need the steps, but hey, then it's a new room that we're in. I think I take the chance with the floor plan, because if nothing else, then it does give me a way to spend my money at the end of the day. And the other 2 options, I don't need a terrace at this point. We've already spent all those gems that we could have saved on those cloisters. Order lull. There could also just be a room here that I'm just not even thinking of. Like, we've added some rooms to our... Like, we have these new... I think I've added, though... Like, I'm looking at my spreadsheet here where I have, like, the thumbnails for the rooms that I've drafted so far. Have I added the rooms that we've... The drafting studio additions? I think I have added those. Like, the dormitory is on here, but it doesn't cost anything. And we already drafted the solarium. That was the other addition from the drafting studio. I'm going to take the archive floor plan here. There's a chance it's a casino, and even if that points into the clock tower, I'm okay with that as a dead end. And if it's the master bedroom, that's also a dead end we'd like to have here. It's a new room altogether. Let's do it. This is where the using the smarts. We'll see if using the smarts along with the archive floor plan is actually going to pay off. Now, the only argument is that it is 2 of your gems. And you still have a whole bunch of rooms that you could be drafting, and you'll be down to 4 gems. But because of the reasons we stated, I think this is worth the cost in this case. Let's do it. Oh, I forgot. We get another letter delivered to the mailroom. This for 6 triggers on this experiment. And look at this. We got a master bedroom. We got it. We figured it out. Master bedroom. Boom. H.S. Sinclair's own room. Though perhaps soon you may consider it your own. Oh, man. Poor old Herbert hasn't even been gone a couple weeks, and it's already out with the old, in with the new. It's awesome, though. We have all of our bedrooms now, finally, in our room directory. Dude, how close are we to filling this whole thing out? Still got a long ways to go on the shops. That's the big one here. And I'm so good. The morning room, I was so expecting to be a shop. Very unexpected for that to be the last green room. Where are all these shops going to come from? We know there's supposed to be the trophy room is one that we have not seen yet, as well as the showroom. So, but then that leaves 2 more that we haven't even heard of. What the heck? There's still a fair more, I think, additions from the drafting studio. So fully filling out everything here is still a ways away, but we only have a couple blue rooms left. Doing some things. Very, very exciting. And now we get to check out the master bedroom, and we get 33 steps. Oh my God. Oh, and there's potentially an allowance token here. That's so cool. Okay, we can take note of the artwork, which is what? Ah, I think I get this one. This is plain and pane. A single pane left on the where all the other ones they went through so much trouble to make sure they broke all the other panes on this particular window. And this is 7-5. And we're getting a very, very subtle new musical theme here as well. Just a very, very light piano. Okay, there's some notes. There is a note here in both the typewriter and on the desk. There's also just a gem lying around. Awesome. We already recouped one of those gems. Sweet. Anything else to find before we start reading? Is there a book here as well? Is this also a copy of The Red Prince? That's what it looks like, except there's some extra stuff here. Oh no, and there's some stuff we need the magnifying glass for. Shit. The Red Prince by Marian Marigold. To my encouraging uncle, who opened many doors for me. Ever grateful, Mary. And we do need a magnifying glass. Dang it. Dang it. Maybe we'll get our hands on one somehow? Any other potential magnifying glass notes left on this copy? Well, I suppose if we know there's one page that needs the magnifying glass, then we can wait to fully check the others when we actually have a magnifying glass. But I don't see any on a cursory examination, just that first page. So there's something that we would want to come back for there. So hidden in a rare room is a clue that we need to make sure that we have a magnifying glass for. So many, this is the luck of the draw aspect to this game, right? And for me, it's actually, I remember we talked about this a little bit. I didn't really, what I talked about earlier in this series was some of the negative reviews where people had talked about, oh, there's this feeling of, I just know I'm not going to have what I need on this run, and because I need this item for this other thing. Like, they weren't spoiling anything, but they were saying, like, at a certain point in a run when you just don't have what you need. And as I'm getting into it now, I'm realizing that for me, that's actually a positive. It's not a downside, because for me, the fun of a roguelike or a deck building draft oriented game is, okay, sometimes it doesn't come together. You just get to do another draft and see what's in the box next time. But anyway, we have our little family portrait here. I guess it makes sense that we're an only child. We haven't heard any indications of siblings of ours, so not sure if there's any clues to be had here other than our train sweater. But I don't know how that could be a clue. So it's always just, when the game lets you zoom in on something, you do wonder, like, what information is important here? Who knows? When we have a magnifying glass, maybe something will stand out just a little bit more. But that will be for later. What do we have over here? Oh, this is a Morajai box. I completely forget where we've heard the term mentioned before, but we have heard this. The Morajai box has been mentioned somewhere. Don't remember where. Fun for the family. Morajai boxes were a popular fad in the early 30s among both the peerage and common crowds. These small mechanical puzzle boxes originated on the island Morajai as a children's game, but quickly gained popularity among seafarers who valued the compact boxes as both lockbox and entertainment on long voyages. Over time, the boxes spread from port to port and eventually found their way into the homes and hearts of every realm. A traditional Morajai box is distinguished by a lid featuring a 3x3 grid of white and gray tiles. Each white tile can be pressed like a button, which will change the color of that tile and the surrounding squares. The goal of each box is to find a way to make all 4 corner tiles into white squares. These simple rules evolved as the game spread across the world. Regional variations introduced new colors and mechanics, offering greater challenges and local flavor. While the fad may have ended, Morajai boxes still make for a memorable gift for both collectors and puzzle enthusiasts. Sweet. Let's see if we can figure this one out. What is the shape here on the side? Half moon or something? So if we press the white square, it sounded like that was going to change all of the squares that were around it. I guess we can always reset, right? So let's just experiment. It did change all of these squares that were in a cardinal direction compared to that white square. So if I click this one in the center, then every single up, down, left, right should change, correct? Okay, it does behave that way. So is it possible to get a winning state from... We don't have to get the entire thing white. It just has to be the four corners. Which may be easier said than done. Or it's just that easy. Never mind. There we go. Okay. Easy game. That one... Now that we... I don't know. Was that one easier than the others, or do we just know what we're doing now? Either way, our allowance is up to 14. God damn. Awesome. Now, what was the information here in the typewriter? Simon, I never intended to finish writing this letter, but by now you must know Dude, wouldn't it be... Is this the moment that our great uncle bit the dust? Was he in the middle of writing the most important letter of his life? And then all of a sudden? Ooh, what is this? Foundation? Elevator? Elevator controls? This feels like something... Actually, I don't know if we know. I was thinking we don't know about this room, but I'm wondering now. Let's just read the note. Herb, the controls for the Foundation elevator are located behind the Foundation wall. This means the controls can only be accessed by another room adjacent to the Foundation. Unclear if this is a security feature or a flaw. Please advise. At first, I thought maybe this room is one we've never been to, and then I wondered, oh, is this actually the antechamber? Doesn't actually feel, though, like the antechamber. Like, there didn't seem to be an elevator. Unless it somehow pops out of the floor, if we're able to get behind. It's not in the right orientation. I'm overthinking this. This is the Foundation. We've not been to the Foundation. I don't know how we get to the Foundation. Maybe that's the random room that shows up in the outer room. The hell if I know. All I know is I'm taking a screenshot for now, and we'll piece that together later. Anything else to get? This envelope is not a thing. There are how many envelopes? 6? 6 envelopes? Oh, there's a cannon here. Shit, okay. There are 6 envelopes in the mailroom. We need... Oh my god. We need a mailroom. Also, this is an amazing fucking sword. I want to get this to... where do I get this to drop in Elden Ring? This one too looks badass. How can I be dual wield? My dual wield sword build has finally found the master bedroom. I just need a few more points in strength, and I'll be able to wield both of them. Here we see this same insignia, the same emblem that's in the wine cellar. Don't know what the number means yet, if it means anything at all. I'm pretty sure it's 1213, 1213, but don't know if that number has any significance. It hasn't seemed to work on any of the codes or safes. Any place that takes a code that we've tried so far has not made a difference. We're healthy on steps. We should have more than enough resources to get us to the end of the day. I mean, gems are the only potential still limiting factor here. So let's just see how it goes. No lock there, huh? No lock. Okay. Is this time for a secret passage? We don't need a bedroom for steps, that's for sure. So we could take a secret passage and then another cloister. Secret passage. The archived floor plan is at least unusual rarity, I think. I think we can safely say it's at least unusual. If that's the case, then it could be what? It could be a boiler room. And it could also be a laundry room. I think those are our two choices. Boiler room and laundry room. Laundry room is terrible. So I don't think we can take the risk of getting a laundry room here. I think we have to settle for the secret passage. Or we just take a bedroom and don't spend a gem. This is the thing. Like, oh, the bedroom's not amazing because we don't need steps. Guess what? It doesn't cost a gem. And it kind of points to sort of the direction that you want to go. I mean, it points to a direction that's not a dead end. So it's totally fine. It has one door just like the secret passage. What specifically would we be going for if we did draft a secret passage? We could be going for a shop, but if we go for a shop, there's a good chance that we're just cutting off part of the house. At best, in the best case scenario, we'd be cutting off the rest of the east wing. Maybe that's fine. Maybe it's worth taking the secret passage just to guarantee that we get access to a shop that we wouldn't otherwise have access to. Because maybe today's the day where we get that showroom or that trophy room or some other room that we've never done before. I mean, we only have 20 coins, but again, we could also get a casino. We do also still have this prism key, so we could draft a shop out of the secret passage and then draft another shop. If we really want to say, let's go for broke here and get as as many of these undrafted shops as we can. We only have 20 coins, but we do have a coupon book. And if we, if we're lucky, we get a shop, or we can just, we could take a shop, even if it's not one we've, how do we do this? How do we do this? Because I want to get out to the rest of the, at the very least, I want us to get to the rest of the house. Because we have 7 keys. That's a lot of keys. We could also just get another commissary, right? I think the secret passage gives duplicates. So a duplicate commissary is not the worst thing because it would get us more gems or have a good chance to get us more gems. If that works the way I think it does. Or hope it does. Let's do it. I think another thing the game might do is it might say, here is an aquarium. It could also offer us the aquarium as one of the shops, right? So it's possible that we get the aquarium that goes to both the left and the right, and we get to do it all over. But then, our prism key maybe wouldn't work the way that I would hope it would in getting 2 shops back to back. I'm just a little bit worried that we get a dead end, right? The laundry room is a dead end, and I don't remember, we got offered the showroom once. I don't remember if it was a dead end or not. Do I remember where it was offered? I could go back and check my notes. Actually, I think I could search for this. I think this is something I could search because I have been taking a little bit maybe too many notes here. I could search for showroom and see it's going to show up at least once. It was day 9. We had the compass and we got the boudoir, the casino, and the showroom. We took the casino. So if I can find that in my screenshots and I can remember how many doors the showroom has. I feel like it is a dead end, but this is where I gotta check. The showroom does actually have, it is a straight through room. It has a 2 gem, it does cost 2 gems, and it does have a door that goes through, that is straight through. So that is kind of a dead end if we get it from the secret passage. We would want ideally to have a casino that goes to the west and then get the showroom after that. But then we would be down to 0 gems. But if I don't do that, what else am I hoping to get out of this draft? The only other thing I would be going for would be tomorrow rooms. Is that not correct? We want a mail room. We'd love to get a mail room, but I don't know how to maximize anything any more than what we've already done, which is making unusual rooms more common using the solarium. And the freezer as well, right? The freezer is the other option here that we could get at any time, more or less. And if that's the case, I don't want to just spend my gems willy-nilly. The other argument is, if I spend all my gems, then I've spent all my gems. And if I have shops to spend my coins, I spend all my coins. There's no guarantee that I'm getting a freezer, even with a solarium out there. It's just not a guarantee. So let's take what the game is giving us here, which is a secret passage, and go for a shop. Let's do it. And then we can use our prism key. These are things that we actually have. Go for it. And trust. Have some faith. Have some faith and have some fun. All right, what do we have? All right, I see what this is here. This is a stage, and this is a stag. And that is room 6-4. Stage, stag. Okay, easy money there with our artwork. And now we don't take orange. That would have been the silly play. We want to go to the market. Gold sink. Dude, The book is called Gold Sink. That's what I'm looking for. You know it. You read my mind perfectly. Yeah, we got to use a, not a special key in this case. What gets priority? The book that you just pulled to open up and get a shop? Or if you were silly enough to try to use the prism key here, you would get a hallway, wouldn't you? Let's use our lockpick kit. Can't pick this one. So we use a key, but that's fine. We got plenty of them. There's a casino that points to the right. Rewarded. Okay, boom. That's exactly what I wanted. That is exactly what I wanted. We take it. Easy. That special cost. Oh, and we get another... Dude. We so need to get a mailroom. Holy fucking shit. Do we ever need a mailroom or what? All right, give me these coins. I also forgot we have a coin purse. We're going to get extra coins here. We get up to 40. So it takes the 15 coins that we would get from the casino and it adds 5 more, right? 1 for every 3. So we're up to 40 coins. So at the very worst, we're going to be able to spin this wheel for 20. I have done some very rough calculations on expected value for this roulette wheel based on some simplifying assumptions, or some assumptions like the cost of gems being 3 gold and the cost of keys being 5 gold in their associated shops. If you run that and then you equate all the different values to gold, doing some different EV values with like the expected value of having 2 free spins, all that to say, I don't think the roulette wheel is a winning proposition for that run. You're not getting your money's worth when you're playing roulette. I think it's I could be wrong. I might have done, it was a little bit of back of the napkin calculations with the help of ChatGPT, so I could be totally wrong. But my guess is that my sense is that this is here for you at the end of the day to try to get lucky and get an allowance token, and that's purely the best case scenario for it. Maybe if you're desperate and you really need other resources, you might give it a shot. Like when we're down to just no gems here in a moment, maybe I'll give it a shot and see what happens. But let's try drafting through this door. Now, we do need this door to be locked in order to use my prism key. So my whole plan here might fall to shambles in a moment if this is not a locked door. So there you go. We didn't even get... Oh my god. They gave us a bunk room after we had drafted the secret passage. Okay. There's a 2-gem floor plan here. 2 gems, which could be the thing we just said, which was well, it could be a couple things, actually. Now we know it could be a ballroom. It could be a foyer. It could be... It's no longer a casino, I don't think, because that should be out of the pool now. I don't think artificially... It wouldn't be put back in artificially without the help of a secret passage or something. It could also be a drafting studio. So I think we take the 2-gem option here because it keeps our draft going. Although we could keep the draft going with the maid's chamber, save our gems. But this could also be a showroom, you know? There's a chance that this is one of those rooms that we haven't seen. I think we go ahead and we take this because if it is, like if it's the foyer, you know, we're not thrilled. Maybe, unless we get the Great Hall offered right afterward, and then we're, like, kind of happy. But I don't think... Is the Great Hall free? The Great Hall might actually be free. But anyway, I'm thinking about a combination that only matters if we get both those rooms back to back. If it's a foyer, if it's a drafting studio, if it's a showroom, that's actually incredible. If we're able to draft the rest of the rooms. There's really good options here, I think, at 2 gems. And it's worth taking the risk. Even if somehow there's a dead end in here that I'm not accounting for, I just don't see the maid's chamber being thrilling enough of an option where I would consider it here over the archive floor plan. I don't think I want to take the maid's chamber just so I can run back to the office and distribute payroll. So let's take the archive floor plan. It's the last of our gems, but we do deliver another... Oh, I forgot about the passageway. Yo, that's perfect. That's a passageway that opens up in all 3 directions. There you go. Okay, I totally forgot about the passageway at common. I was just thinking, oh, there's no way they're going to offer us... I'm so fixated on the unusual rooms and up because of Solarium. Now I think we take a little time and we do some gambling. I don't have the broken lever to play the golden slot machine, but I think if we're gonna wager 20 coins, I mean, maybe I don't want to spend all my money because maybe I get another shop, except I'm out of gems. So I kind of need to spend coins to get gems. I need to get lucky with the roulette wheel here. If I wager 20 coins, I could get 4 gems, or I could get 2 more free spins, or I could get 2 allowance tokens, I think. There's also 4 keys, but I don't want to get those. There's another gold option as well, which is not super thrilling. I'm just thinking maybe I play the slot machine for just a little bit, just to see if I get lucky with one of these machines. If we get lucky and hit, you know, who knows, the quad crowns, then we could do a 100 coin wager and have better chance at getting all kinds of cool stuff. So we can take a few spins here, right? I think that is a reroll. That's also a reroll. No reason to use bonus spins if you're more than 1 reroll away from a good reward. That's also a reroll. I think I'll limit myself to 5 more spins. We go down to 30 coins, and then we spend the 20 at the roulette wheel. Now, the other option here is I don't have to do any of this, right? And maybe that's actually the better play, because I forgot that I have 44 steps. And I'm thinking like, oh, I need to do all my business here in the casino before I leave. No, I can come back. I can come back. So, because maybe I get a broken lever somewhere in the rest of the house. So let's do that. That's a better option, isn't it? But the thing, I just wasted 2 steps. The thing I was thinking though is that if I need gems, right? I have 0 gems to draft. So it is better for us to use, let's do our business here. Let's do a little bit more pulling the slot machine, because who knows? That's the reason. I wasn't trying to save on steps. I was not trying to save on steps. Do I use a bonus spin here to try and get double 3 coins? It's probably worse than a 1 in 5 that I get a single coin. The crown is pretty rare. The snake and the most of these are pretty rare. The single coin is the most common one. I don't know. Is it better than 1 in 5? Because that's what I need to calculate, right? I need to spend 1 coin in order to win. I would be spending 1 coin in order to win 6. And so I need to be getting better than 1 in 6, I think. Is it 1 in 6 or 1 in 5? Either way, like, it's not a huge ass payout. It's like a marginal payout. If I'm getting lucky here at the slot machine, I want to get like the crowns. I don't want to be like just, oh, I'm going to get like 6 coins out of this thing. Like, who cares? All right, last spin. All right, there we go. The golden one does feel like it has much better odds than the rest, which makes sense. All right, we'll do the 20 coin wager. See what we get. No, it was close to getting those 4 gems. It was so close. So close, and yet so far. All right, so we are drafting here without gems until we get a wine cellar. And we would be fine getting a wine cellar. Ooh, there's a key card door. I forgot about that. Maybe that's one argument. You know, one argument for getting the passageway after rank 5 is that if in a case like this where you have a key card, all of your doors could potentially be key card doors. Maybe that's the strat. The strat. Don't need keys. And don't have gems to get them anyways. So I guess we're getting a furnace. God damn it. Furnace! Yay. Yay. Just what I always wanted. The furnace, you know. The furnace. It does have a dig site. It's got a dig site going for it. That just makes it like the best room in the house, you know? It's the best. I guess let's also draft this room. Wow, no locks there. Dang it, there's a laundry room. Oh, baby. I didn't think about it. I had forgotten about the mail room. Yes! And we get it after drafting the furnace. That is so hype. Dude, that is so fucking cool. It's cool. It's also a little bit, you know, there's a little bit of uncertainty because, like, what do these letters have? All these letters that we got delivered, are they actually something that we want to open today? Because what if they just contain keys or coins and we don't have anything else to do with those coins today? We're still going to take the mailroom and find out, because even if there were no letters in this thing, it goes super well with our clock tower, and it's a mailroom. And we're not going to take the archived floor plan over it. No freaking way. The order has been placed. Letters have been delivered. What in the hell? They are actually letters. It is actually intel. That is insane. Okay. This one is from Randolph. I guess we'll go through these. We'll go through all these in just a moment. Let me look around. Sketches. We have plain and... So there's a paintbrush and there's a planet. Is that it? Plain and planet? Because the one on the left, I think this is a pattern that we saw reinforced by the commissary. The painting on the left is the one that's with the extra letter. The one on the right is without. I think it's planet and plain. And that is here in 6-3. All right, cool. Nothing new over here, I don't think. It feels like there was more... It feels like there's more stuff on this desk, even though I don't think there's any more to examine. We've gotten the more detailed instructions by email now, which is good. And now we have 7 letters? What the... Okay. All right, let's go through these. Simon, my name is Randolph Moore. I am the lead... Oh, that's where we've heard this name before. The lead lab technician at Cinca, and I've worked here at Mount Holly for over a decade. Randolph was mentioned by... What's the lady? The lady who left a letter in the lab. I was thrilled to discover you found our humble lab and have begun to run some experiments of your own. I tend to keep an eye on the small spikes in radiation levels on the estate, as it's one of the only ways I can monitor your progress from the outside. I guess we've been spiking it off the charts here, huh? All offsite connections to the terminal network have been disabled during your stay. There's been much speculation among the staff about the progress you've been making in the house, and they were all quite excited when I reported that you've been successfully running experiments. I wanted to write to let you know that even though you may not see us, we are rooting for you. Best of luck on the experiments, and if you like, I'll continue sending letters with some helpful tips. So that's what we're getting here, some helpful tips? And maybe these are here permanently. That would be cool. Like, this feels like this is just a permanent addition to the mailroom. Cool. Oh, okay, one of these tips looks like we've already got. It's Randolph again. In my last letter, I mentioned the terminal network, but it completely slipped my mind to give you the network password so you can log into it. Sorry, Simon, or sorry, Randolph, we're way ahead of you. Even with all offsite connections disabled, you should still be able to use the local network to access different house-based functions from any terminal, regardless of where it's located on the estate, which you will likely find very useful. Password is Swansong. Yes, yes, yes. We actually have 8 of these letters. This is insane. Okay. Letter number 3. Wait, what the hell? Oh, I know what this is as well. I think this is the note that we figured out from the periodic table puzzle. Okay, all right. So there's some pieces of intel here that we may or may not be privy to. 9 up and then 3 up. Simon, not sure if you pay too much attention to the machine in the booth in the lab, but I figured I could save you some frustration if you've been fooling with it. This contraption is the central control for power lines that run externally from the house. In the past, we've served as an emergency power source for the local community, as we have modest hydroelectric capabilities with a steam turbine. If you want to use it, you'll need to first turn on the turbine in the boiler room and utilize our steam ducts to connect the turbine to the lab. This isn't required, of course, and I can't think of any reason in which you'd have This isn't required, of course, and I can't think of any reason in which you'd have to use the boiler to reach room 46, but feel free to play around with it should you feel inclined to experiment. Huh. So it's not required for us to beat the game, but it is, well, who knows? Maybe it gets us another allowance token. All right, I mean, 9 up, 3 up. We'll definitely be doing it when we get the chance to connect the boiler room. They're also, okay, in case it's useful to you, here's a rough diagram of the steam duct system. Due to the ever-changing nature of the rooms on the estate, we ended up building the duct system to be quite flexible, and if you look along the ceiling of many rooms, you'll find many of them have been outfitted with steam ducts. As long as you line this room together in an uninterrupted string, power can be transferred from room to room, even if the boiler room is and its intended destination are on opposite sides of the house. And we were on our way to doing that previously. We've got, yeah, this is all, unfortunately, you know, old info. We got 4 more letters, though. We'll see. We'll see. Simon, let me know if I'm writing to you too much. I've never been too good at gauging where the line of impropriety is, and for all I know, maybe the help I'm offering you with these letters is unwanted. Maybe you're perfectly fine without my help. It's been a bit of a moral quandary for me as I've written these, as I'm fairly certain your uncle didn't want us to assist you on your quest. It sounds like my uncle really knows me. Like, I don't want any help. Don't help me. Let me figure it out on my own. Still, if it was that important, I have to believe he'd have the foresight to specifically instruct us not to interfere. Nothing ever deterred him from that level of supervision in the past, and after working alongside him for over a decade, I like to at least imagine that we were friends and that I know him well. In conclusion, I think he would have found the level of help I've offered well within the acceptable range. I haven't spoken too much about him since his departure, and I know you didn't know him that well, but as soon as you're ready, I'm going to have plenty of stories to tell. He was a fearless businessman with the greatest respect for invention. Of all the laboratories I've worked in, I can tell you Mount Holly was a gem. And I'm hoping that we can continue that work once you've taken up the reins. But I won't get ahead of myself. You still have to find the 46th room. Yeah, that's definitely me. Don't tell me. Rhetorical questions. Don't help me out. Let me figure it out on my own. That was number 5. Number 6. After giving it some thought, I've decided I'm going to continue helping you. And I also just had a small chat with the probate lawyer, and he assures me there's nothing in the Baron's instructions that would preclude me from offering you my modest assistance. Good. Wouldn't want to get in trouble with the lawyers. So let me tell you what I know. About a week before Sinclair died, something rather curious happened. A few lab assistants were called by Mrs. Babbage, the house manager, to remove several floor plans from Sinclair's drafting studio. Typically, all the unused floor plans are kept there, and I've never heard of them being moved to another location, nor would I presume to guess the reason for such an action. I'm not sure which floor plans were removed or where they were moved to, save one, which I was instructed to remove myself. Is this talking about the outer room? Or is there somewhere else on the grounds that we're going to be drafting? Assuming it was not moved again after I hit it, you should be able to find it in the observatory, hidden within the lens compartment of the telescope they're in. Wait, what? Screenshot. There was something in the observatory? We have the observatory, and we have plenty of steps. We're going to be checking the observatory before we're done. If there was a reason behind the removal of these floor plans from the drafting studio, hopefully this will serve as the first illuminating step toward finding out why. Hidden within the lens compartment of the telescope they're in. I wonder... Yeah, we need to go check that out and see, and I'm wondering also if it's one of these things like the cloister, where you would not be able to, like, pixel hunt for it until, I don't know, maybe until you've read this letter? I don't know. I don't know. Letter number 7. At least we finally got something new that we didn't know about. I'm going to assume at this point you've likely reached the upper ranks of the house and run into our security keycard doors. These are actually a fairly new addition to the house that were designed by Kirk Darren. Uh-oh. There's that name that we know is supposed to be a pseudonym, right? That was information from the locker room. Kirk Darren is a pseudonym? Designed by Kirk Darren and myself, and were installed after an unfortunate accident 2 years ago when some of your uncle's correspondence was stolen by a member of the staff who had somehow managed to reach a room that they should not have been able to find. We're still not 100% sure how he got past the antechamber seals, but it was clear that after that episode, that not every member of the staff should have unchecked access to the higher ranks of the estate. somehow managed to reach a room they should not have been able to find. What the fuck? It's important to note here that in my own experience, I've found every other member of the staff to be extremely trustworthy and unwavering in their loyalty to your uncle. Who's the staff member who did this? Because Kirk Darren is the one who did the installation and the design, supposedly. Who was the person that stole? Could it have been this guy who's been... Oh, it could be Denny. Denny Ravane, couldn't it? He's the one who's really trying to find room 46. We know about his plans from the hovel and also from the locker room, correct? It's got to be Denny, right? Still, after that incident, we decided to err against our own confidences and opted to install a state-of-the-art security system and issuing cards to only the most trusted members of the senior staff. If you find the security doors become an annoyance while you're attempting to navigate the house, you should be able to lower their frequency from the security terminal, and there's even a nifty trick to unlock them by utilizing the closet, utility closet, in conjunction with the security settings. Yes, we are fully aware, as with most of the stuff here, Randolph. We appreciate the helpful tips, but we're pretty, you know, we're pretty sharp cookie. Ooh. Oh, I think I know what this diagram is. Hold on. Simon, following up on the map I created outlining the steam-powered duct system, I thought it would be helpful to provide you with a corresponding map for gas power, which is an outdated system that currently is only utilized outside the house in locations on the ground. Hope this helps. We see the hovel and the schoolhouse, which we've already lit, 2 of those flames. There's also one in the apple orchard, as well as the gemstone cavern. So the apple orchard, I think we clearly know where that is. We just need a combination to open the lock. But the gemstone cavern? Where the heck is that? Probably on the other side of the underground. The part that's across the reservoir, right? As well as on the other side of that minecart, which apparently a 14-year-old boy is not small enough to squeeze his way through, but, you know, video games. Awesome. We did get some new nuggets there, some new nuggets of information. Was there anything that was worth checking out again on Dad's letter? Maybe. Who knows? There could be some clues in here, but I don't see at least any magnifying glass opportunities. We need the magnifying glass eventually for the master bedroom. So, okay, we still have, though, one more room, at least, to draft out of the passageway. Let's see if we don't get too unlucky here. But we've got, man, tomorrow's draft. Tomorrow's draft is going to be off to a pretty sweet start with the buff from the clock tower. And now we have the mail room that we... And also the morning room, of course. Tomorrow you will start with 2 gems. How could I forget? It's going to be a good day. All right, now, is this where we use our prism key? Because we might just want to use a prism key to give us a hallway that could be pointed in both directions, huh? We would not want a foyer, and we would not want a secret passage. I don't know if prism key can offer duplicates. It could also give us an aquarium, but we don't have gems. It could get us the Great Hall. The Great Hall would be fine-ish because we do actually have keys. I mean, we might as well do it, right? Because I don't think, unless we were going to save the prism key in the coat check, but I think I'm just going to save the, that's where I'm going to keep my rabbit's foot. I still don't see a reason to trade in the rabbit's foot for anything else. The key card would be the one thought. But the rabbit's foot can get you anything, including key cards. And I'm just looking at the rest of the options here. There's nothing else that really is super thrilling to me at this point. It would just be the freezer, right? The freezer could get us 10 more coins for tomorrow. But if I take the hallway and I get another key, or if I take the Great Hall, you know, I've got 2 more shots at a freezer, up and down. So we might as well use our prism key here. I think it's correct. Let's do it. I think it's even better than using a lockpick kit here. And in retrospect, I should not have bought the lockpick kit. But maybe it's just a sucker's bet in any case. Prism key, let's go. It did give us the Great Hall. Okay. And I think I'm going to take that over potentially a hallway, but I don't know what way the hallway's oriented. So we'll take the Great Hall, and we have just enough keys to open every single door if we have to, right? And this also reminds me, it gets me an answer to, we take the Great Hall, yep. It will answer my question if we can use the lockpick kit on these doors, which we cannot. So the lockpick kit would be awesome if it could. It would be really awesome if you could open these doors with it, but you cannot. So I guess we're just going down the line here. No, you can. Never mind. You can use the lockpick kit. Well, maybe I didn't waste my money. Maybe it's fine. There you go. Okay. Do we continue to... Let's just open all the doors, because there's stuff behind some of these doors, right? Actually, the metal detector tells us. I think it's about 50-50 with the locksmith kit. The lockpick kit. We get another key. And there's our antechamber lever, which we don't need. Can't even get to. But we'll do it anyways. Because it's fun. And now there's no reason to open this door. So there could be gems, potentially. Ah, is this the door with the stuff? Let's find out. Lockpick does not work, but we have plenty of keys. Oh my god, and it does get us a gem. That could be huge. A couple coins as well. I like it. Let's see what we get in this direction. A ballroom. LOL. I mean, I say that, but it could be really good. Or could it? Is it really good at this point? Let's think about this. Wait a second, I can't even afford it. What am I thinking? I can't take the ballroom. So the ballroom's out. So the billiard room, yeah, whatever. We don't really need keys at this point. So we just gamble with the archive floor plan because maybe it's a freezer, right? That's what we do. At this point, we're just like, hey, I want a freezer. Give me a freezer. There's nothing else that I want, I think. Yep, let's go with the gamba. Dark room. That's interesting. So if we have a chance to draft a utility closet here, then that would be a chance to explore the dark room. So we might take a utility closet, or try to maximize the shot that we get a utility closet. But let's see. Let's see what we're offered. Last door, right? Oops, not this one. I did not open enough of these doors, apparently. Lockpick did work. Nice. So it does work on those. That's awesome. And this is our last door to draft. Build up the house a lot more than I thought we would, considering we started making such a beeline. We completely cut ourselves off from the east wing with the locksmith and the greenhouse, but we still found a very roundabout way to fill out all but 4 and now 3 rooms. So there you go. Okay. Yeah. So there's no reason to take the gym. There's no reason to take the weight room. So we might as well spend our last gem and see what we get. A drawing room. All right. A drawing room. I guess the only reason to do anything in these rooms would have been to, like, check the artwork. Try to pick a room that actually has artwork in it, that you would be able to look at the artwork. Here's the artwork for this room. So we have what? We said this was a tag before. How does that line up with this? Oh, what if it's not a tag? What if it's... There's... The clever thing about this game is that one picture can represent multiple words. What if this is coast and cost? Price tag. Coast and cost. I think that's what we're looking at here. And this is room... This is room 6-2. There's also a white pawn in the drawing room, if I haven't noted this already. I'm pretty sure we've tried 12-13 on this safe, but we might as well give it a shot here again if we haven't. Nope. And I'm pretty sure I've tried 90-83 as well, but that's a red memo. Cirrus and his lies, don't believe them. Is there anything we can see in the dark room from the doorway? Like, I feel like there's some stuff on these middle tables here that we're supposed to be able to examine, but we need to have the lights on. So that remains on our to-do list for another day. Oh, there is artwork actually in the Great Hall, isn't there? Yeah, here we go. I forgot there is a room that does show us. What do we have? I feel like I'm looking at pilot and plot. This feels like a plot of land. I think they've done that sketch minimally enough to where you can still make it out. Your brain is able to figure out, oh, this is clearly a pilot. Pilot and plot makes sense to me. And that's room 5-2. I don't think, was there any artwork in the furnace? I wasn't even looking for it, but I kind of assumed there's just not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So nothing to find there. I also forgot to check in the casino. The casino should have artwork, I think. It would make sense. Or not. Are there really? Is there really? It's not an artwork room, huh? Okay. Wouldn't have guessed it, but no artwork in the casino. We got the artwork in the secret passage, but we did not check the aquarium, or is this also a room that has no artwork in it? There are actually just all sorts of rooms that don't have any of the... Nope, never mind. It's in the tank. It's in the tank. I was like, I thought I remembered seeing it here. Oh, dude, it's this painting that we don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Is it... Okay, maybe this is just not a dish that I'm familiar with. Okay, it's because fan, I can clearly see fan is the one on the right. Does that mean that this other one is flan? I'm going to Google what flan looks like, because I don't ever know if I've actually had flan in my entire life. That's what it looks like. That's actually... Okay, I can see from the picture... It's exactly what it is. This is flan, which I don't think I've ever eaten. Hi there. I think we had you for our main course one day. Or one of your cousins. But, yeah, let's not pay no attention to me. Flan and fan. There we go. Now maybe we can figure out the one that was in the parlor or wherever. All right, let's go back and let's check the observatory. No more drafting to do. But maybe we can find a new floor plan? We actually ended up having so many steps. The game, steps is one of those resources that, yeah, we've been in a pinch a couple times. But... most runs, it does feel like they're going to give you more than enough to be able to make it. Now, where could this floor plan be hidden? Pixel hunting time. Is this it here? Like, I see like what looks like a circle that's been drawn on this one. I don't know, is that a bolt or a mechanism? Did he say it was inside? Did he say it was inside here? That doesn't make any sense. I don't see how we would access it inside. What if... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I understand. I think this is why this thing can be rotated. I think we're actually supposed to rotate it all the way over here. Let's see if I'm right. What if we rotate it? We point it all the way this way. One more. That, I think, yeah, I think I see it. There's an opening right there on the side. That's where it is. Oh my God. I would have never thought. I would have never thought to look there. That is crazy. Too short still. One more. Unbelievable, dude. You found a secret floor plan. Would you like to permanently add planetarium to your draft pool? Yo, planetarium. If you call it a day in the planetarium, gain 2 stars. Dude, that's so cool. Having a place to call it a day by just hanging out and looking at the stars in the planetarium. You just, I mean, it's maybe not the healthiest thing to do to fall asleep for the night in a planetarium, but at the same time, you get 2 stars. Are you kidding me? Why would I not want to add this to my pool? As if there's even a choice. What the hell? Wow. Do we get to read about it as well? Is it just, it's one of these additions? Oh no, it's a found floor plan. Oh my God, there's a whole new category of floor plans here. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Don't tell me. But oh my God. A circular theater featuring a dome-shaped projection screen upon which scenes of the stars and galaxies allow viewers to experience the splendor of the heavens. It's also a tomorrow type room. If we'd have min-maxed things a little bit here, maybe we could have come back, picked up this floor plan, and then added it in place of the dark room, or you know, one of those last rooms that we drafted. We had enough steps probably to do exactly that. Maybe, I don't know. What the hell though? The planetarium has been added to our pool. That's amazing. That is so exciting. This game is the best. This game is so awesome. I think there's only one thing left that I want to do, and that is, I think I've checked the artwork in all of the rooms except for the kitchen. The kitchen was the one room that we forgot. And then I think that's it, because we're pretty much out of steps. We've checked in our lucky rabbit's foot the way that we wanted to. Oh, I guess we could recheck this now. Now that we know that this is flan, what would this be? I still don't know what this is. Oh, no, of course. Amadingus, of course. Now that I know it's flan, it's a dessert, which of course makes this a desert. Got it. Solve that one. Dessert and desert. How could I overlook that one? Problem solved. Let's go. So we've got that. Watch this all be some intricate red herring that we're taking all these notes for, and that means absolutely jack shite. Watch it be that. Ah, okay. Here's one that we have seen. I think I talked about this. The cart and the car. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I'm not sure. No, I talked about chart and cart. I'm pretty sure there's a room where we see the stonks, chart and cart. But this is cart and car. That's an easy one. Just needed to make a note of that. And then we're good. We're good. Did we even buy out the kitchen? I think we did. There's nothing left, man. We didn't get an achievement for buying out all the shops, because I guess we didn't, I don't know. You can't buy out the locksmith, can you? Okay, regardless, that is where we are going to wrap up this installment of Blueprints. There's no reason for us to run payroll because we can't save our gold, so we might as well wait. Hopefully we get to run payroll before the end of things here, but I'm pretty sure there is nothing left for us to do today. We got 8 successful triggers out of this experiment. That is so crazy. And I guess that does mark, that is permanent progress, because those letters are there, and they did get us the planetarium. So we got some worth out of that experiment. I would say all the experiments so far have been successful, but that is where we're gonna call it a day. What another crazy draft. I feel like I'm a broken record, but this game is amazing. What is this, dude? We got a garden shopping center of tomorrow. Because we picked 4 tomorrow rooms, there's like the clock, the time is around the doorway. 9 green rooms, 5 shops, and 4 tomorrow rooms. That is amazing. All things considered, it turned out okay that the coat check was our outer room. If I had things to do over, I probably would have picked the hovel, and I don't know if we'd have gotten, who knows, the draft might have offered us a nursery earlier on. Did we even get offered a nursery once? I think maybe once. But the draft would have gone a completely different direction, I want to say. But we got the rotunda again for free. We got the office for free. The berry picking is a lot of fun. I'm loving the berry picking. We got 2 more days of that. We're going to be a little more judicious with our berries, and we're not going to use it in the outer room next time, most likely, now that we know how it works out there. But I'm so excited to keep, we got 2 new rooms, master bedroom, as well as the morning room. So we've added new intelligence as well as allowance. We're getting so much allowance now. We're starting the day with a whole bunch of keys. And we got a package that's going to be delivered via the mailroom. So our next run should be really buff. I mean, gosh, we didn't go in with hardly any buffs to this run, and we still got a lot out of it. So what's day 14 gonna... Lucky day 13 turned out to be all right after all. What will day 14 have in store? Tune in to find out. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.